What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to our late night tournament. It's going to be a standard SFT, and we are going to be casting a Daniken game first. He will be playing Grand Cathay against something or other, and we'll see what it's going to be. Hey, Saif, thank you for the $10, man. Appreciate the donation kicking off the stream. Thank you guys so much. And let me see who this is. All right again. Okay, so just got to do a little bit of admin stuff, guys, and then we should be cooking. All right, so Torsen. Let's do this. All right. Okay, so we're going to have Torsen. Okay, so we're adding somebody to the events a little bit late there, so let's do that. And that's going to be Ignum Anis, and it's going to be buy round off. And we are all set. We are all set. All right, as long as you had a entry here. Let me see. 1 second, guys. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, pork and chops. Yes, it was pretty epic. Yeah, I did see that. Glorious, glorious stuff. All right, so what have you guys been up to, man? Hope life's been treating you well. It's going to be a bunch of casting games tonight. My old cubital tunnel syndrome has been flaring up on me again, so I'm just trying to take it easy for tonight. I made the mistake last week of installing some action RPGs like Diablo 2, and it was a mistake. So we're going to stop playing those and recover a little bit for a few days. All right, let me go ahead and get the army hidden here. So we got Tomb Kings versus Grand Cathay. Well, that's one we don't see often. I feel like the Screaming Skull catapults are quite good, but again, they're going to get countered by the Bombards of Cathay. Interesting one. No, it's not the modded games. No, it's yeah, I think the action RPGs did it. Yeah. I got to like level 60 on my paladin, and then I started to have issues with my cubital tunnel stuff, and I think I had to take a break. So it was fun while it lasted, but that's going to be the end of that road. Okay, perfection. I don't think the FFA 3-hour helped the other day. Yeah, that only exacerbated it for sure. Just play Diablo with an auto clicker. It's not a bad idea, honestly. It's not a bad idea. These streams are awesome. Playing Cathay Dominance. Yeah, Cathay is pretty fun in multiplayer. They're going to be strong soon, too. Cathay is going to be very strong once they get their lion people, in my opinion. I blame the AoE water FFA. Dude, that was the most miserable FFA I think we played in a long time. Holy shit, that was suffering. It was so painful, dude. All right, 1 sec. I'm going to announce the stream is live. Let me go ahead and do that in the Discord channel and everything. We'll go from there. All right. Perfect. Uno momento. And there we go. Everyone, we're live. All right. Cool. So everybody's got their opponents, and the game should be starting relatively soon. So it's going to be a 5-round tournament followed up by a semifinal, grand final, and maybe at the very end we could do some... You know what would be kind of fun to do is we could get a couple of these high-level players and have them do like a modded duel. Like we could play some modded factions at the very end as well. We could do like Araby versus Cathay. I don't know, something fun like that. I always love me some Cathay artillery boxes. They're fun. Yeah, they're fun. Cathay is a very hard faction to play, I think. But if you do main them, you can really present problems for people. Crowmen are such a good unit. Crowmen do so much damage. And you can use Plague of Rust with them, and they're actually going to be able to rip apart like heavy cavalry and things like that. It's wild, man. It's wild. Never turn off Kings again. No more modded tournaments. Oh, dude, we're going to do modded tournaments. It's just not going to be like every day or every tourney. We'll do like one modded tournament every couple weeks or something. And yeah, that's kind of the game plan. Yeah, that is the game plan. The Wonder Snipe was both legendary and tragic. It was when we got the Hui Hui Pows and ambushed the Wonder. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good times. All right, cool. And we're all set, and players are good. Doesn't look like there's any issues, and let's keep it moving. So the first map's going to be Blazing Ramparts, which is a fairly open map. There's kind of 2 hills, 2 elevations, and then in the middle it's just 3 objectives down the line. Can they play different banners? Let me go ahead and tell Daniken. Can you change banners? They are the same. Yeah, they both picked like the yellow banner. They both picked the yellow banner for their faction. I don't want any of that smoke. How do you think you would balance the factions that are a little out there? I mean, I'd have to sit down and take a look, but yeah, some of the more OP factions, it's pretty on the head of what you would do. Like if CA put in a little bit of effort, it wouldn't be too hard to balance like the more egregious factions, I think, in multiplayer. Mod attorneys are fun, but it's hard to tell who's winning because I don't know any of the units do. Yeah, it's part of it. Unit recognition, yeah. Danny is about to enter feast mode. I don't know. Freya. Let me see. Freya. That is who Daniken is playing. And we will be casting different matchups every round so we can get some different stuff. I don't know this Freya player, actually. It's going to be fun. Well, I've seen them around, but I haven't casted too many of their games. So, yeah, Daniken changing the banner, which is great. Yeah, some of the modded factions were very OP. Wow, triple Ushopti Great Bow and double Boner Giant against Daniken. That is ballsy. Oh, man. Okay. I can't help but feel Daniken's just going to march him down and pressure him, and the Tomb Kings are going to fold like a piece of paper, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. You've been loving the Marienburg campaign, have alternating caravans? Yes. Yeah. It's super fun, man. It's super fun. Yeah, I didn't realize that Cup of Noodle. I'm already pretty far in the campaign. I recorded like 6 or 7 episodes, so I'll make that adjustment eventually, but yeah. Yeah, I could do that pickled. Individual battles, sure. Yeah, we put up a hung battle a few days ago. That was a fun one. All right, guys, so taking a look at the Tomb King's army. If I was a wagering man, based on the build, I would say that the Tomb Kings are going to be at a massive disadvantage, simply because Bone Giants are not really that good against Tomb Kings, or against Cathay. You can use them to counter snipe maybe some of the arty, like move up on cannons, but like if you look at this roster for Daniken, okay, let's go ahead and take a look real quick, right? Nothing here is a good target for a Bone Giant. Absolutely nothing. You have 2 foot characters, and you have a flying dragon-butted lord, and Daniken, again, is a world champion level player, so there's no way you're going to be able to snipe this with a Bone Giant. Daniken's going to be using that dreaded Eastern European micro and dodging all of those shots, so yeah, good luck with that. The Ushopti Great Bows are good, but they require a little bit of a front line. Oh, man, this is going to be really tough for Freya, but I'm excited to see what happens here. All right, guys, it is going to be Jade Warriors into the Sunset, Nangao Grenadiers, backed up by Jade Warrior Crossbows, which is, pretty good against Tomb Kings. Just kind of slow march them down with a bunch of 70 armor units and some shields, and Nangao Grenadiers to clean out the Warriors. The Dragon-Blooded Lord, who's going to be using the Dragon's Breath attack to try and melt some things down. All right. Saif, any reason there isn't a community multiplayer balance patch? There will be someday. One of the issues I think that could arise if we started taking... there's a couple variables. Number one, we get a lot of new players coming into competitive multiplayer from the ladder system and from the single player game, and you want them to be playing the same game and the same units they're familiar with. Number two, I think if we started doing multiplayer bounce patches and actively doing that, I think Creative Assembly would probably stop doing multiplayer bouncing, which then again would take away from the experience of a lot of people who actually play ladder games and things like that. Because us lobbying for changes and actively seeking balance does eventually lead to bounce patches. Whereas if we just took it into our own hands, I think CA would see that as a signal to be like, all right, well, we don't need to do anything. They got it handled. And then the people who play campaign and the people who play ladder, quick battles, domination, land battle, conquest, they would not receive the benefit of those lobbying and those changes and things like that. So eventually it will happen when CA does abandon this game in favor of like 40K. They move on. They don't abandon it, but they finish it. That will be the time. But hopefully that is a good answer for you there. All right, so out of the gates, we do see the Horsemen of Freya grabbing this side objective. Ark of the Black contesting this objective versus the Peasants, and he does have Spirit Leech and Purple Sun. Very good spells. But you can see trying to shoot Daniken's Flying Lord here is pretty rough. Daniken has insane micro. I have played games against Daniken where I have had Chaos Dwarves like with Deathstreaker rocket launchers like trying to snipe his Flying Lord. And homie like literally is like Neo from the Matrix, like dodging in the ground, flying back up in the sky, just like impossible to hit. He's definitely a micro player. Daniken, of course, I would say one of the things that he struggles with as a player, I think every player has their weaknesses, but for Daniken, one of his weaknesses is that he doesn't play good factions. He tends to play weaker factions, that's kind of like the one thing that holds him back, because his micro is like top tier. Decision making, the way he plays the game, it's just all very strong. And look at that, the Jade Shield to counter the Spirit Leech is pretty funny, giving 57% ward save right there. So Yeah, says the champion of Nurgle. That's right. Yeah, no, I'm like a Walmart version. Danikin's like a world champion level version of that, but yeah, yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side, we do see a couple peasant horsemen creeping around, Danikin getting ready to charge, and the Ushabti Greyposts have not been able to hit home yet. Danikin is doing a bit of a build-up. He's trying to poke and prod. Basically, Danikin is playing against, he's playing against, like, a campaign, like, ammunition situation where, look at this man. He's literally dodging the ammunition of these 2 units. That is so freaking sweaty. Do you know how annoying that is to play? He's microing these units individually, by the way. One of them, look, they're going back, and no, that's so freaking sweaty, dude. And he's basically draining the ammunition of these Ushabti Greyposts, and they're getting like no value. I cannot tell you how frustrating that would be to play against. The Bone Giants have also used some ammo, and honestly, if I'm the Tomb Kings player, I just sit back and wait for him to come. Stop wasting ammunition, sit on 2 objectives, reinforce, and what is Freya going to be calling out? Melee Shopti would be good, Nehekar Warriors would be fine as well. Tomb Guard, probably not so good here with the Nangao Grenadiers and the Dragonblood Lord, but overall, very, very tough. All right, couple of the Peasant Horsemen going to be sealing Objective 1, and the Tomb Kings are sitting on 3,000 supplies. So I don't quite know what Freya is up to, but this is like a taste of the very sweaty high levels right here. You know, you're getting a little bit of a taste of it. A Grand Cannon is going to be called out for Grand Cathay. It's going to be shooting in the hill right there, and this Grand Cannon, they have the Cathay cannons have amazing sound effects, by the way. Like the impact when they shoot, it's just so righteous. So yeah, it's going to be going here in a second, I would imagine. Does he have them zeroed into the right target? He does. And they might be obstructed by something. Oh, there they go. Cannon reloaded, and the shots on the Chosen of the Gods. All right, on the outside, Nehekar Horsemen preparing to do battle with Peasant Horsemen. And right here, we do have some Jade Lancers battling Skeleton Horsemen. And the Tomb Kings are going to be forced back right now. It's going to be a messy one for them. And will the Tomb Kings be able to hold on to this objective? With the Jade Lancers, probably not. Huge Purple Sun opportunity here, man. If this Tomb Kings player is paying attention, Freya should be able to get a massive erect Purple Sun. Granted, I think Danikin will dodge it, but that would be a pretty god-tier play. On this side, the Ushabti Greyposts do get dove on by Peasant Horsemen, incredibly cost-ineffective for our poor Tomb Kings Chad, and we do see catapults being called out. Meanwhile, a minor victory for the Tomb Kings here on this side is the Nehekar Horsemen actually have good enough stats to kind of fight Jade Lancers, especially with some catapult support. Breath attack coming in from the Shugengin Lord. It doesn't do a ton of damage. Now the Crowmen of Grand Cathay are going to be descending on the backfield. Tomb Kings can usually defend this pretty easily with their light horsemen, but the question is, how quick are they going to be to respond? Freya does have the value lead, but that's going to be switching pretty quickly once the aggression gets in. Chosen of the Gods here being tar-pitted, and they are being forced to retreat from the Peasant Horsemen. They don't want to be losing a 1,200 gold Chosen of the God there. On the outside objective, Screaming Skull catapults do manage to nail those Jade Lancers off, and here comes a couple Spearmen, Arc of the Black, going for that snipe here, and the Jade Shield and the Boner Giants making a little bit of contact there. But yeah, now the Ushabti Greyposts are getting caught in melee. This is where you start to lose the game. They should have retreated back much earlier. As soon as you saw Danikin press, you should have just retreated them all up to the hills right there. And to the backside, we do see some carry. And now there's some really nice things about Freya's play. Like using a Skeleton Chariot to counter the Crowmen is really brilliant, actually. I like that a lot. And honestly, the Chariots are really decent against light infantry. So yeah, some cool tech from Freya, but obviously a build that is a little bit on the memeier side of things. Double Bone Giants is a build that gives up a ton of agency and only really works at a competitive level during some very skewed situations. Ushabti here are running, the Bone Giants are going to be a little bit caught up in melee, and Freya is going to need to call out some Nehekar Warriors to get out and actually fight against these advancing Spearmen. Value trading is pretty even, with a little bit of Tomb Kings healing, it's even-ish on the value, but in terms of the positional play on the battlefield and the pressure that is on the Tomb Kings right here, guys, it's going to be very tough. So Jade Lancers heading back here. We do see some Skeleton Horsemen surging forth to fight the Peasant Horsemen. Should be able to win that one. Nice usage of the Skeleton Chariots to run through the spears, and are we going to be seeing any infantry coming out of Freya? I don't know if we will. Arc of the Black still cackling over here, just doing evil Necromancer things, and it looks like he's on horseback battling the Alchemist, but going to be heading towards this objective, most likely to Spirit Leech the Dragon-Blooded Lord. But again, like, Danikin's army is basically fully designed to not worry about being sniped. Everything here is just like cheap and expendable, and that's why the Bone Giants ended up being such a rough pick. Danikin dodges that giant shaft to the face. The Dragon-Blooded Lord is able to get away from that one. Meanwhile, Jade Lancers going to be circling around the outside, and the catapults are unleashing a torrent of fire, getting what they can done. But the peasants have arrived, and they've gotten to the backfield, and these haggard skeletons going to be shanked off the artillery. Grand Cathay stands firm. That's actually kind of a cool shot, seeing the peasant spear formation move up to fight the skeleton catapult crew. Yes, my Screaming Skull catapults and tabletop, perpetually getting karate chopped. I've been there before. All right. Tomb Kings, I think, and the Empire, definitely my favorite armies to play in tabletop. They're very, very fun. Arc of the Black here attacking into the Alchemist. Meanwhile, more catapult shots unleashing on the Jade Warriors. We do see some cav coming in the backfield. And this is probably going to be the end of Freya here. Daniken has a triple cap. The catapults are being compromised. It's going to be one catapult going in the trash here. And now Bone Giants are basically in the worst situation for them, which is going to be melee. They're very, very poor there. And the Tomb Kings player didn't actually bring any sort of melee. Don't see any infantry, nothing like that. Now, kind of an interesting school of thought to talk about, because Daniken sometimes does play these builds that are Moonbirds. Excuse me, someone's got my throat there. But like Moonbirds and Cathay single entities with a Celestial General. So the Bone Giants and the Ushaptis could have been very good against that playstyle, but I think that maybe Freya just did take a gamble on that. Maybe thinking that Daniken was going to come in with a single entity spam build, but in the end, Daniken went wide, went cheap, and yeah, that was rough. GG, well played. So, let's go ahead and break it down. Boner Giants, they tried their best. But honestly, this build, there was like a 10% chance this Tomb King build was going to win. There was no good targets for the Bone Giants. Ushaptis were just being juked and dodged, and Arc in the Black did good, but that was pretty much it. And yeah, needed some infantry. We did see the Kepler Guard, but yeah, Tomb Kings can absolutely win this matchup against the forces of Grand Cathay, but this was not the way, this particular build. But Daniken, let me show you guys real quick. Very, very Chad build by Freya, so shout out to Freya. It was super fun to watch. But normally, you know, not normally, but often you'll see Daniken do builds like this. So we see Grand Cathay. We see a Celestial General. Usually you'll have them on the Lion, and you can bring maybe Celestial Sweep, and that's pretty much it. Then occasionally you'll see like a couple Moonbirds mixed in. Like Daniken will often do stuff like this, right? And then get an Alchemist, not an Alchemist. Yeah, I guess, yeah, Astromancer, Alchemist, some sort of a Harry Potter, and he'll fly around with this like goon squad of characters and just snipe positions. So that, I think, is what Freya was anticipating going against this. But Daniken ended up playing a very traditionalist Cathay build, just a harmonious front line, using the the peasants and the Jade Warriors, and then having Harmony crossbows behind them just to buff up the front. And honestly, it worked out pretty damn well. Canadian says, very excited, starting up an old world army for the first time, bought the Tomb King starter box. Tomb Kings are, honestly, I think, if you're going to play old world, Tomb Kings are one of the best factions to play. They are, they're strong, they're fun, they're flavorful, but they're not overpowered. And they have some great new minis too. Like the Tomb Kings minis look really, really good. All right. Yeah, no, the Moonbirds are not a joke, man. They're pretty good little monsters. Yeah, let me show you here real quick. Yeah, we could look at some glorious Tomb Kings minis. Thank you guys for joining tonight. It's going to be a fun little hangout we got going here. All right, so we got the old world. When I eventually do get back into the old world, I think I'm going to go pretty hard on the Tomb Kings army. But yeah, they have these new heralds. Look how good these Lich Priests look. I mean, just absurdly overpriced. I think I have the Australian prices on right now. Let's go back to US. Yeah, there we go. But the new Lich Priest models do look great. Yeah, those guys look pretty damn cool. Let's go back here. Is that going to load? Yeah. And honestly, the old Necrosphinx looks great. Sepulchral Stalkers, even though they're one of the worst units in the game, Sepulchral Stalkers are freaking terrible. Yeah, they're just really bad. Man, that Royal Herald model looks really badass. Look at that guy. That's a super cool looking model, man. Yeah, you can get some great armies. And yeah, Tomb Kings are, I think, one of the strongest armies in the game. Not like OP, though. They're like the top end of like the more balanced factions. Although I don't know what the current meta is like. Yeah, check this out. And then you got the Bone Dragon. Kind of a bit of a preview. I like when we get Nagash in the end times, I would like put a pretty penny that we're going to get a Tomb King on or a Lich Priest on a Bone Dragon. It's going to become a mount option for sure. I'm finally understanding the pain of how expensive tabletop is. It is. It really is. Yeah. Games Workshop games are, but there's a lot of other game systems you can play in that are exponentially more affordable, honestly. And yeah, I mean, I can recommend Trench Crusade. Me and my buddy have been having an absolute blast, like printing up our own minis. Like he has a resin printer. I have a plastic printer. So I print all the terrain and the battlefield stuff. And then he prints all the minis. And like, it's such a cheap game to get into. And it's incredibly good too. There will be old world reveals tonight. Oh, at what time? What time is that going to be going down, Melody? Yeah, the Adepticon reveal stream is on. Okay. Yeah, you'll have to let me know when they get to old world. If we're streaming when that does go on, we'll go over and watch. We can definitely do that. Just getting home and Turin goes live. Hey, what's up? Welcome. Welcome, Cornetho. Well, Yeah, we're live and we're in a sweaty little tournament here. We got some world champion level players playing, and that was very quick to finish that game, so we might have a little bit of time. For every mini, let's see, no reason to play games. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely just print like, proxies too for like Games Workshop minis. Like, if you're just playing with your friends, obviously, if you want to go to like official tournaments, sometimes they'll have rules and whatnot. But if you're just playing with your homies, yeah, dude, it's a whole new world out there. Are Old World rules similar to Old 8th edition? So Old World rules, Harkin, are basically Hero Hammer. Heroes and like mounted characters are like the most OP shit in the game. So whatever edition of the old Warhammer that was more focused on heroes and less focused on the rank and file and infantry is what we currently have. Granted, they have had a couple bouncing passes to try and address that, but it still is Hero Hammer at its core, I think. How does Trench Crusade make money? The STLs are sold by, I believe the STLs, I'm not sure. They did do a Kickstarter, and they do sell, they're starting to transition into plastic miniatures. So the Trench Crusade company is selling their own plastic minis now for some of the newer armies. But they also did have a Kickstarter, which raised their initial funds, which I know there was some issues with like fulfilling those. Apparently one of their suppliers had some problems. But yeah, I mean, I would assume with the new plastic minis and some of the other stuff that they will be selling. But yeah, and the Kickstarter too, obviously. You've been playing tabletop for almost 20 years now. It's so fun. I love tabletop games. Is the Horus Heresy tabletop game fun? I've never played it. That's one of the Games Workshop games I haven't played. I've played Lord of the Rings. I played Age of Sigmar, Total War Warhammer. And yeah, I haven't played. That's like, Horus Heresy is one of the few I haven't played. I really like the same for 40k. Battle line units are just pawns. I tend to prefer when like, I prefer game systems where, let's see what, yeah, they have some, I mean, some of these models are really cool. I like the new Iron Warrior stuff that came out, yeah. I prefer game systems where rank and file, like heroes are still strong, but I prefer when they're more tertiary to the actual army itself. To me, that is a more fun game system. Also, one thing I don't like about games like 40k, for example, anymore, I mean, I played competitive 40k. I was like a tournament grinder, won a handful of tournaments, lost a bunch of tournaments as well, lost way more. I prefer alternating activation systems. Like Lord of the Rings has such a good game system in that way. Trench Crusade has an amazing one. It feels way less bad. Like in 40k games, when one guy gets to go, they get to just unload their full payload on you. And if the dice don't go in your favor, or you position poorly, or you're newer to the game, for example, you can lose like a quarter of your army, if not like half your army. And then you get to swing back, but at that point, you're just kind of cooked, right? Like alternating activations, I think, are like the goated way to play tabletop games in general, These models are really cool. I always liked the Iron Warriors aesthetic. These breachers are cool, man. Like I would love to make a 40k army just out of Iron Warriors heresy stuff and just like chaosify them a little bit. But it's all about alternating activations, man. It just feels so good. Yeah, I do play Armeldir. So you're saying your ideal list is just hordes of infantry. Death Guard are your best friend. So that is why I play Death Guard, is because you can play infantry hordes and actually win games against Hero Hammer stuff. You just run like 120 Poxwalkers, swarm the table, and, they can't kill them quick enough, right? Yeah. Yeah, the Horus Heresy looks fun, though. It's just way too expensive to get into, honestly. Like, look at this. Perturabo's friggin' $215. Yeah, right, dog. No way. You're not. No. Just no. That's not going to happen. But yeah, alternating activations. I'm telling you, man, it is an exponentially feel better system, Yeah, it's way better. Trench Crusade has that. Games Workshop does do that for some games. They do that for not Age of Sigmar, but for Lord of the Rings. Like in Lord of the Rings, you move some units, and then your opponent moves. Well, Lord of the Rings, it's a bit different, but you don't you fight in simultaneously in Lord of the Rings. So when two units fight, they fight at the same time, instead of like one person getting to swing and the other person having to just eat the fat sausage, All right, let's take a look at the tourney right now and see how we're looking. And let's do this. 2 more games to be played in the round. Is there a digital game that has alternating activations? I'm sure there's some out there. I'm off the top of my head. Yeah, like Age of Wonders, for example, has like that. But in Age of Wonders, like I think it's balanced out pretty well for the you go, I go situation. But for tabletop war games, it does feel pretty bad. Alternating declarations of intent joined by a resolution. Yeah. So cave trolling, essentially, what I mean is like in Trench Crusade, for example. Let me see here. Okay. Trying to see this. Trying to find something here that is relevant. Yeah, so basically in Trench Crusade, how it works is you have a mini, you move the mini, you shoot, you charge, you attack with it, and then it goes to your opponent's turn. And then they're going to be moving one of their minis. They're going to be doing the exact same that you did. And then it goes back to you and then back to you. You never get to like... There are some ways to activate multiple minis at a time with special rules, but in general, it's like you alternate. It's not like your whole army attacks and then their whole army attacks. It's you move a mini, they move a mini. You move a mini, they move a mini, and you alternate between these attacks. And to me, it feels way better than just getting like karate chopped by like big alpha strikes and things like that. Right? It feels way better. Yeah, some of these battlefields look pretty cool. No, Trench Crusade typically is a 2-player game. Yeah, you can play team games. I've played a couple, but typically I think it's best served 1v1. Yeah. All right, let's get this going here. See if we're ready for the next round. Flitten and Ponty, Torsen and Ignum are playing, and we should be going. You played my very short campaign over the weekend. Oh, PJ, how many games did you play, man? Sounds like a good old jolly time. Yeah, so I like that game system. Lord of the Rings is different because one player moves all their minis and then the other player will do the same thing. But when they go to fight each other, you fight simultaneously. So you both roll for your fighting dice and you go from there. Have you played Battle for Middle-earth 2? Oh yeah, of course. I played all the Battle for Middle-earth games way back in the day. Yes. By the way, any campaigns that you guys want to see? Now... Would you guys rather see, because I'm pretty close to finishing the recording of the Jan Marienburg campaign. Is there another campaign that you guys would be interested in seeing in the near future? Like, would you want to see another modded one or maybe a regular campaign? I'd be interested in hearing any feedback on that. Fergum, thank you for subscribing, man. Welcome to the family, brother. Welcome. All right. So I think we should be ready for round 2. The hung horse cheese? Yeah, hung could be fun. Like invading Grand Cathay with the hung could be kind of cool. Just 2 games, 1 2v2 and 1 3v3 game. Nice. Another Karl Franz campaign? Look, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed. Boone, you've been dabbling with the Grudgebringer campaign? Seems fun. All right, reading the feedback. Crack a Drac, Araby. Araby seems like it could be fun. Securing like the Southlands there, yeah, and like the desert. I didn't play Dark Omen, Boone. I didn't. Kadavo campaign, go full mercenary mode. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Modded, yeah. Because you guys probably see enough regular campaigns, so. Jafar's Revenge on the French. Can you recommend a faction but learn domination mode against my friends? Yeah, Norska. Play Norska. You're going to be happy. You're going to be beating your friends, and they're incredibly fun to play too. Like Norska, dude, is just so good, so strong, and just oozes flavor. Like it's a great choice. Like regardless of what you're doing with Norska, you can literally just bring like a Harry Potter, a battle line of like bearmen, like shielded and great weapon bearmen, a couple Marauder horsemen, and then just pick your favorite monsters, and you're going to be in good shape. Norska. I think they're the best beginner faction of the game. PJ says, I played as Irie. My Berserker Lieutenant rolled Strength of Samson. Oh, that's so OP, dude. Oh, man. So you had Strength of Samson on him, so he was strong. Was he just running around with a huge like claymore cleaving? That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's... we'll think of another campaign to do. What's the best faction where everyone hates you? Slaanesh. If you don't want friends, play Slaanesh. If you want to just like make people dislike you, become really good at Slaanesh or become really good at Wood Elves. I think Wood Elves are a pretty obnoxious faction to play against. At a high level, Wood Elves and Slaanesh are probably 2 of the most annoying factions. And Vampire Counts. If you also want to be a villain and have none of your friends like you, Vampire Counts are another faction to main as well. Yeah. Yeah, PJ, yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good, man. The vibes of the Shadow of the Horned Rat. I would be down to go back and play it. Can we get it? Araby campaign? I think I'm going to do Araby next for sure. Okay, I'm going to the store real quick. Let's see if the round is there. Okay. Nope, those guys are still battling it out. Cool. They should be ready in a second. I'm assuming they got their game going. And yeah, we will be doing it. All right. Adepticon stream, huh? That's what's cooking right now. All right. Shadow of the Horned Rat. What makes Slaanesh so good? Just like they're extremely tanky, the fastest faction, hardest hitting faction of the game. Maximilian are saying that my comment is it's anti-Nagash discrimination is what it is, but it's 100% true. It is. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. See what Anna knows. So he says, what do you mean no friends when you play Slaanesh? Of course you're going to have friends with benefits. Yeah, that's true. Certainly some benefits there. Absolutely. She's not wrong. Shadow of the Horned Rat. Can you get that? Warhammer End Times Vermintide? I don't even know. You probably get that from like GOG or something. The Shadow of the Horned Rat. All right. Let me know when done. Okay. All right, so we're just waiting on one round to finish, guys. Sorry about the wait. We had a player get added a little bit late, so they probably started their game slightly late as well. Okay. My first game of Old World, the guy teaching me hit me with the evil Bretonnian Duke. Oh, dude, what a villain, bro. Bretonnian Dukes are also one of the most toxic things in Old World. They literally have a vow they can take where they instantly kill lords and infantry or monsters. It's like... I remember I played a game against a Bretonnian player in a tournament, and he just like, you know, I was my general of the Empire, like on a Griffin, and he just got like one-shotted by the Bretonnian Duke. I failed one ward save, and just the monstrous killing blow was activated, and I just like lost the game. I was like, oh, that's fun. Great. I love that rule. That's great. But no, it's definitely true. You can suffer the troll toll there. And they're so fast and hard to get away from. Oh my god. Because Bretonnia has this like stupid horn in tabletop that takes away flying from all your units. So like my guy was like a potato, and his guy was just flying across the battlefield like a track star. Yeah, really gross. All right. Yeah, just make the 6+. That was a 5-up, but yeah, close enough. Okay, and we can see how they're looking good. So I guess they technically have about 9 minutes left. Yes, indeed. But yeah, and I think an Araby campaign could be fun. Has anybody played the Albion campaign that could fill me in on that? What Albion is like? The units are really cool. I'd be curious to see, like, having a big Oathsworn army. I just wonder where you expand and what you fight with Albion up on that tiny little island over there. But yeah, what's been your guys' experience with Albion? Ikit Claw is the best beginner campaign. Ikit Claw's campaign is hands down one of the most fun campaigns. If you're a brand new player to the game, okay, and you get to roll in with your stinky rats, and you get Ikit Claw, and you just drop like a fat nuke on somebody's face, it is so freaking fun. It is definitely one of the most fun effects. Yeah. The bomb, and also the fact that he gets like double Rattling Gunners out of the gates and some Jezzails, it is such a fun army. Basically, you can run a Doom stack of just like Jezzails, Rattling Gunners, mortars, and then get like Doom players to clean up infantry. You have a nuclear bomb in case things get crazy, and you can do a lot with that. It's a really good campaign. I played Ikit Claw when he first came out years ago. God, that was so long ago, wasn't it? Yeah, so you can do quite a bit there. You played a campaign as a Murder Queen and the Norskans feasted on you. Yeah, well, Norska's also doing the same thing on my Marienburg campaign right now. They're like constantly invading me and karate chopping me. Wolfric invaded me, and he had like 12,000 HP and like a 1,200 weapon strength from his OP items. I was like, dude, what the hell is this? All right, advancing the Swiss. Yeah, you definitely want the mortars because you just own siege battles that way. All right, round 2 is live, guys. Thank you for your patience, and let's go ahead and get it. And we're going to be announcing round dos. Goblins, round 2. Good luck, have fun. All right, so for the round 2 games, we need to see who's playing a fun faction. So I'm going to go to the SFT declaration and see what faction we want to watch. Vampire Coast is there. We got some green skins in the mix. Captain Muffin playing Nurgle. You got to respect that. Ooh, Zinch. Okay, yeah, we're going to do Hobo Honkers. I want some Zinch, dude. Hobo Honkers. Lobby code, please. All right. Mortars on higher difficulties get permanently dodged. Yes and no. You can do some... You can, like, send in, like, a Skaven character, and the AI will blob around it, and then you shoot it with a mortar. That's really the trick. Get, like, some sort of a... You can get Ikit Claw on his, like, Doom player, for example, and you can, like, blob things up and... or, you know, whatever. And whatever character... like an engineer, an assassin, you know, all sorts of good stuff. A vampire counts mirror match? No, I'm good. Thanks, though. I appreciate that. We're going to be casting Tzeentch for somebody. I don't know. Hobo Honker is very fun to watch. And let's get it. Yeah, it gets campaign. Oh, dude, he had the Changeling. Who did he have him as? The Formless Horror. Let's see. Oh, he had him as Scarbrand last game. Holy shit. Oh my god. We missed the Scarbrand game, guys. Well, regardless, it is here. And let's get it going. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Danger close, indeed. Yes, Skaven are a great campaign. The new Norskan campaign with Wolfric might be my favorite campaign. It is so incredibly fun. Your ability to teleport your pirate ship, or not pirate ship, your Viking longship, like all over the old world and find like loot and then return back home. Yeah. The Adepticon stream is an embarrassment for GW. The quality is the worst. Where can we watch that? Is it on Twitch? Is that where it is? Let me check. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, they're showing like some kill team stuff, huh? Oh, the audio is crashing on the stream. All right, we thought I had haggard streams. Games Workshop stepping up their game here. Okay, let's go see what's over here. Technical problem seems, but a lot of cool new minis so far. Yeah, I'm on it now. Are like, yeah, do people watch those streams, or is Games Workshop gonna like karate chop me if I'm like spectating it? I always like am paranoid about those type of things. It's the GW stream official. Yeah. Let me know if anybody knows, if other people do that. Not really my forte. You were just watching the Warhammer reveal stream and got thrown in your stream. Well, welcome. Welcome, man. Good to have you here, Ludwig. And prepare for a battle between Tzeentch and something or other. Hobo Honkers is fighting... Blake is fighting Glidden. Okay, this is going to be fun. It's probably going to be Dwarves versus Tzeentch or Kislev versus Tzeentch. Yeah. People can watch it. Cool. You can co-stream. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. What models are there? I don't know. Let's go check it out. We have a little bit of time while we wait for the players to set up shop anyways. So we can go see what's cooking over here on the stream. Ah, okay. Yeah. So they're revealing some minis right now. It looks like that's pretty damn cool looking Tyranid unit. You can see they're stepping up their game from the early 2000s Tyranid. Oh, the Red Terror. Kill Team does seem like an interesting game. I would like to get into that someday, because if you have a 40k army, you can just get in and do it basically. Okay, sounds good. It gives us something to do in between games. I like how they just keep rotating it like back and forth, like super janky. Yeah. Guard's getting a lot of stuff. It makes sense. You know, Guard just had that big cinematic trailer with the Auric. The Red Terror. That is a really cool mini though. It's very cool. You watched live with some friends once, and one dude was like 20 seconds ahead and kept saying, "Oh wow, new Space Wolves." Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. It is the Red Terror. Fear it, run from it. Are they just going to keep bouncing back and forth with the Red Terror here? They going to show us something else? I guess I'm not used to these streams, but yeah. Evil. Unfortunately, I have to pay rent. I know, pickled and salted. That's how I've been feeling lately. I'm like, very cool. Unfortunately, I have to pay rent. Right. I played Kill Team with a friend, and it's good to jump in for a quick game. Does Kill Team have like a progression system? Like, can you play it like a campaign where characters level up and get new skills and whatnot, or is it just like one-off games? You know? Yeah. Also, they revealed that the Steel Legion will get new minis. I wonder if it was because of all the backlash. Yeah, those guard minis are pretty cool though. God, but I have to say, guys, one of the worst experiences in miniature painting is painting human faces. It is so freaking awful. I can never make the faces look good, like ever. They just always look so shitty. Like, that's why I prefer like when my humans have like face masks or like gas masks on or something like that. Oh, initiative versus instinct and the hunt for the beast. So it's like a Kill Team starter box. Probably going to be like $400 or some shit. You know? Just like some obscene amount of money. It's not the faces so much, it's painting eyes. Like, trying to get eyes to look good is so freaking hard, you know? All right, well, hopefully they'll have some old world stuff for us later, you know? We'll be back and see what they're up to later, guys. All right. So we got Tzeentch versus Kislev on the Eastern Isle Colony. Looks like that's going to be the map. And Tzeentch will probably have some Exalted Flamers. And Lydden might maybe a little Grom. Some Streltsy shooting is always fun as well. And it looks like the players are about to ready up. Let's see what's cooking, man. I just accept that mine will never get better than the uniform flesh and blacked out in the eyes. Yeah. It's hard. 100% because of the backlash. They basically revealed their concept art. Oh, yeah, so they're just like panicking and trying to cover. Yeah. Biggest tip I ever learned to paint the eyes before the skin, so you have the endless attempts and you don't have to touch up. That's actually, yeah, it's really clever, actually. Paint the eyes before the skin. Okay. Yeah, because the touching up is brutal. Just feel the paper bag brigade. Well, that's why it's fun to paint like Chaos factions, is because you can just make their eyes like glowing red or glowing green or something, and it's like super easy. Yeah, it's great. Playing for an Araby reveal? You think Araby's going to get revealed? Oh, man. Old World is 100% going to... If they're going to reveal a new faction, it's going to be Kislev. My favorite factions to play are Empire and Nurgle, probably, followed up by Chaos Dwarfs. I just love playing the Sons of Sigmar. Every game feels desperate, and when you win, it's just so epic. Yeah, it's great. Even losses can be epic, too. Yeah. Apparently, there's no Old World releases today. Really? They're not going to show anything? Bit of a shame. That's a bit of a shame if that's the case. All right. So Hobo Honkers is ready. Lydden is going to be getting ready to party here in a second as well. And we'll be jumping into our first game, second game of the night. We did have one game already with Grand Cathay coming in and doing a dreaded steamroller, which was fun to see. Apparently there's 40k Zote models. Yeah, those have been around a while, I think, right? I don't think that's something new. I think those have been around for a long time. Dude, the mod makers who did Araby, though, it's so good. Wow, Lydden, I did not expect that. A Druzhina backed up with a bunch of bows? Okay, we're going to see what's cooking here. A very, very interesting army. Druzhina with a bunch of Kossars and some light sleds. All right, so it begins. There's big AOS rumors floating around that Sigmar is going to straight up die and have a huge reboot. Oh, really? So you're saying that they're going to get rid of the Stormcast Eternals? How's that going to work? Yeah, like... Man, I'd be curious to hear about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break it down. Taking a look at the armies here of Tzeentch. It's going to be Marauders of Tzeentch, backed up by Chaos Warrior Halberds. And then we do also have Chaos Warriors and some Chosen Halberds. Halberds against Kislev make sense because they're formidable enough to fight any of the Kislev infantry, and they can fight things in the woods, cavalry, monsters. And the counter that Kislev has to these guys, of course, is going to be shooting. So it's going to be Little Grom, Streltsy, bow and arrows, can even wear them down despite their 100 armor. I don't hate it. Yeah, so Hobo's going to be dropping it like it's hot there. We do have a Chaos Lord of Tzeentch, who is a menacing anti-large fighter. And he is going to be bringing the Sentient Stormcloud ability, which is a little bit of a bombardment. It's not terrible. And over in the woods, we have Zangors waiting in the tree line, and he has 2 Harry Potters hiding in the bushes. 2 Metal Casters. Wow, look at this. Holy shit, this is like a bit of a cheese build, isn't it? Double Skull of Catan. So he's got a Skull of Catan, which increases his damage by a lot. And then he's got Final Transmutation on both of these guys, on these 2 Chaos Sorcerers. So metal is hell. Yeah, it really is a metal build. I mean, quite on the nose with that, but it is. Oh, I love the Ulrika pick. Now, guys, I have been playing Ulrika in PvP battles lately. And honestly, she feels incredibly strong. I'm like, wait a second, she's a really good duelist. A little bit on the squishy side, but if your opponent has like foot characters, she can cycle charge them and duel pretty well. Shadow Magic, and it is going to be a Druzhina. So these 2 characters are both like long-range kind of sniping shooting characters, which is going to be nice against Tzeentch characters. We got 2 light war sleds to run over and shoot at infantry. And the rest of the army is going to be Kossars with bows, so a very cheap wide army here for Kislev, engaging against the forces of the Tzeentch. Now, what's going to happen is Hobo's going to pop out of the bushes and try and get a big old fat Final Transmutation. And if he can catch this entire blob with the Skull of Catan Final Transmutation, it could definitely end some careers. People could have a very, very bad time. All right, so Kislev is going to be getting a triple cap out of the gates. Hobo Honker's advancing up with his infantry corps. The first chariot's coming in. We do see the Chaos Lord thinking about charging in there. His Protoss shield's going to be eating some of that fat shooting. And now the fighting does begin as the Marauders do eat a chariot. But the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch is able to boink that chariot right there, doing some nice HP damage. Horse Archers shooting where they can. Kossars on the move. And on the backside, we see the Wolfhearts. The Action Ambusher ROR is going to be coming up and bringing nets to the table. Now, why are these Tzeentch Sorcerers not moving a little bit further up? I would expect them to be in the trees here waiting to pounce. Ulrika getting a little bit crunk. She's got to be careful, but we do see the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. His shields are now penetrated, and he is going to be taking some damage. Hey, thank you, Jorge. Hope all is well down south of the border, my friend. Hope you're doing all right. Marauder Horsemen called out. They will be good against Light War Sleds. Light War Sleds only have 50 armor, and Warp Flame does lower armor by 10, so it'll put him down to 40 armor, which is a pretty low amount. But Tzeentch now has a double cap, and in the woods we see a little bit of sneakiness coming around. There are some Zangors of Tzeentch, and they are probably waiting to jump onto the archers over here with a flank, but Kislev will call out some heavy cav, probably to mitigate that pressure. All right, more fighting is on. The first wave of Marauders does get bullied here in the front. You can see the Marauders of Tzeentch getting run down by the Bear Sleds. So the Bears are unleashed, and they were able to break one unit, and now Kislev is threatening to capture this objective again. And honestly, Ulrika can counter these halberds very easily if she wants to. Getting a big Pit of Shades on them could be very good, or using Melkost, a number of choices. So Ulrika does have Buyer Blood and the Hunger. She's a vampire after all, so when she's in combat here, she is going to be healing, albeit very slowly. Metal Casters are now coming out of the tree line. This could be an opportunity to snipe Ulrika, which would be big. She's not a cheap character, and she's doing good work and getting that fat heal in it. All right, here comes the Marauders. Hlydden using a wide infantry corps, and the Kossars is going to be forming ranks and getting ready to shoot into the Marauders. In the meantime, Harry Potter is coming on out, and we do see Ulrika Magdova is going to be fleeing the scene. All right. Smart play. Don't want to overextend too long in Tzeentchian lines. They can do some work. But I'm really liking this build. I think it's very fun. Oh, no game audio? Yeah, my bad. Sorry, the game audio is back now. Thank you so much. I muted it for the Games Workshop stream, but it should be back now. All right, Light War Sleds moving about, and we do see the Kossars blasting away into the Marauders, so those guys are eating it pretty good. These Marauders of Tzeentch eating it as well. And here comes the Cav Charge. Horse Archer is going to be moving in, running these bad boys down, while Ulrika is just doing some nice harass, honestly. Yeah, 200 value so far, but again, she still has a lot of shadow magic to bring to the battlefield. So far out of the gates, Hlydden is really dominating this game. The Kislev army is just out-trading Tzeentch at every turn. There's going to be an overcasted Melkost going down here. Is it overcasted? No, it's regular. But it does slow down these Chaos Furies and definitely does a ton of damage. And the Kossar is going to get jumped, but with Crossfire should be easy to handle. Coming in are Chaos Warriors and Chosen, so the heavy metal forces are on their way in. So here comes the big dogs. And yeah, they're going to be tough to uproot. Kislev is going to have to use Pit of Shades, which they do have on Ulrika, of course. Fury's getting some great damage in there, by the way. Despite taking a beating on the way in, the Kossars are getting chewed up pretty good, and the Zangors emerging out of the trees. But it is time to call in the dreaded Winged Lancers of Poland. So here they come, and they are going to be annihilating those Zangors on the charge. We'll have to see how that goes. Zargard Grey Weapons called in by Hlydden. The Tzeentchian army getting harassed pretty heavily over here. Looks like a final transmutation did go down on one of the chariots, maybe, and or it got caught in the halberds, maybe just the halberds. But I like that there are some Zargard Grey Weapons being called out. Kossars are being put into melee here against the Chosen of Tzeentch. A pretty rough situation for them. But Kislev is holding on to the objective, and the Zangors, as we expected, the Winged Lancers with their glorious charge ability, really going to be eviscerating these Zangors. These guys are going to be getting sent back to the Shadow Realm and banished to another dimension from whence they came. So good night, sweet Zangors. You will be missed. Back in the middle, Kossar's fighting it out, holding on to the objective. Pit of Shades activated over here, and Ulrika going to be hitting those Chaos Warriors right in their silly faces. While the Druzhina moves out. Final Transmutation activated. Is it going to be overcasted? It is. And the Skull of Katam is active as well. That is going to be a shit ton of damage. Oh my god, you got to get out of that aura. Ulrika needs to run away. Okay, Ulrika got out of it, but dude, look at the sniping. And the Tzeentch army ability on the Druzhina. So Tzeentch had been waiting all game to blow their load, and they finally get to do it. And the Druzhina here does get absolutely blasted in the face by an Arcane Torrent, essentially, a ton of magic. But on this back point here, it does look like Kislev is going to be winning the game fight. The Zargard with Great Weapons advancing up with the chariots, and they're able to really cut through the Tzeentchian defenders. The Marauders and the Chaos Warriors having a pretty terrible time, while the Druzhina is going to be kiting this Chaos Sorcerer. And Ulrika is very damaged. He's got to watch out. I think if you're playing with Ulrika here, you got to run her over here and use her a little bit more conservatively. Keep her in the backfield, use her bow, and just use her Pit of Shades. Because if she stays in the front line, she's going to get sniped. But look at this! Looks like the Chaos Sorcerer did get hit with the Pack Trap. He's out of it now, but he got sniped by all the Kislev shooting. So the Kislevites saw what was done to their countrymen, and they are able to form ranks and get some beautiful shots right there. And we are going to be seeing the Chaos Sorcerer sent packing right there. All right, so Druzhina sitting on Objective 2. Meanwhile, the Kossars of Spears are going to be hanging on here. It looks like Kislev has not yielded this objective. Hobo Honker is definitely on the back foot. The Chosen have literally taken no damage, by the way, and a big mistake by Hlydden. He sent a Winged Lancer to go fight a Chosen Halberd. What you need to do in this matchup is have a couple Streltsy mixed in. Streltsy are really good against Chaos Warriors as well as, Chosen, obviously. So that objective looks like it could be going to Tzeentch, but on the back point, it's looking very, very, very favored for Kislev as the Zargard get another favorable engagement. Zargard are a pretty hard counter against Forsaken. They have heavy armor themselves. They have great weapons, anti-infantry. Forsaken lack armor piercing and melee defense, so they're going to get butchered by like elite great weapon units. And Zargard are pretty good. They see a fair amount of playing competitive. Not a ton, but they do see a little bit there. All right, so they're going to be moving in. Over on objective number 1, it does look like old Kislev is hanging on to that one. By our blood, they're not letting it go. The Druzhina is being sniped. He has been chased off the battlefield by the Chaos Sword. Ulrika, I believe, is still alive. I don't know where she went. She might have gotten blasted by another final transmutation. No, it looks like she's here, but she's running away from the sorcerers, which is smart. Pit of Shades is going to be activated and or Melkoth. So Melkoth is activated onto those Furies, which will do some good damage. And yeah, Ulrika needs to get a Pit of Shades on those Chosen if she can. Moving on in are more Winged Lancers. Definitely a mistake to send the Winged Lancers in to fight against the Chosen. If he does that again, that is going to be a huge, huge mistake. So I certainly hope he does not, so we can get a closer game. But, well, you know, not a closer game per se, but... Yep, that's the way to do it. Pit of Shade's going to be coming down, dropping it on the Chosen. They're not going to be able to escape. They're way too slow. So those elite boys going to get shreked by the magic and pulled into the abyss from whence they came. That should do a pretty substantial amount of their HP and damage, probably about 30-40%. Meanwhile, the Furies here get wrecked by the Winged Lancers and by Ulrika, and this point is on the brink of flipping here. We're going to have to see how it goes. But Kislev probably has this game in the bag. You know, they have a firm control over on Objective 2 and on Objective 3. And Tzeentch has still not even been able to get this objective yet. Lydon is kind of gremlining on the point. The Pit of Shade's very, very good. Ulrika is kind of low, and the Chaos Sorcerers are still waiting in the bushes, I think. He's got one waiting in the trees right there. Collins here, it's going to be Marauders and more Forsaken, but they're just walking into the meat grinder, basically. The Zargard and all these shooting units are just going to really, really melt them. And it's going to be tough. All right, Kislev is going to be yielding Objective 1 to Tzeentch. Tzeentch is massively behind on points. We do see about 1,200 points coming in. Has some nice crossfires activated, and that's going to be an okay final transmutation. I mean, yeah, it'll beat up that Zargard unit. Did he have Skull of Catan? He did not. I think he popped it just now. And we'll see what kind of damage it ends up doing. Forsaken are on the hunt. Pack Trap is probably off cooldown right now. Nope, it's out of charges, so there you go. Nothing going to be going down there as the Forsaken do eat some HP damage, and the final transmutation does go after those great weapons. Nice play by Lydon, wheeling over the Winged Lancers to deal with the Forsaken. Forsaken only have 20 melee defense, guys, so a big, fully erect charge here from these Winged Lancers is going to be incredibly devastating. And here they come. Polish cavalry arriving to save the city here, and they do get a big charge, and those Forsaken get sandwiched. And they're probably not going to be long for this world. Not a ton of damage because of the armor on the initial kind of moments of impact, but it's going to get worse. And you can see they're getting folded, losing a shit ton of HP. The charge bonus and the Glorious Charge is really devastating, guys. And that's why Kislev have some of the best cav in the entire game. So Chaos Lord jumping in here to try and help out a little bit. It looks like he's just trying to chew up what he can. Not going to be really good against chaff units. He's more of a duelist character. On the side, the Chosen holding that objective valiantly, but the Zargard are on their way over. And the Zargard great weapons will trade very well into the Chosen simply because they're halberd units. Halberds tend to have slower attack rates, so they're not really good at trading into great weapons. They can still beat like lower tier great weapons, but like something like a Zargard, probably going to be the end of the road for them. What you're going to see happen is the Zargard engage in the front with the Winged Lancers and the shooting in the back, folding them up very quickly. Pit of Shades activated, and that's going to be victory for the Brotherhood of the Bear. Kislev has done it. Really cool Kossar play. Ulrika, I mean, God, who doesn't love seeing that? It's awesome, right? Tzeentch is a good faction. Tzeentch is hard to play. They're very tricky to play. But Tzeentch has plenty of tools to beat Kislev with. Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things they could have brought would have been the Exalted Flamers of Tzeentch. Those things are brutal. But the one of the issues with Final Transmutation, too, is you're putting all your marbles in like a sniping cheese basket. And if you're playing a high-level player who can avoid that, you can suffer. The Chaos Lord and the magical kit of Tzeentch was a little bit lackluster. But yeah, aside from that, the build was fine. It could have won. It could have won. All right, guys. GG, well played. Ulrika getting 1,600 value and looking pretty good. All right, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to now be waiting for the next round, and we can go back to the dreaded GW stream and watch a little bit and give our opinions on some things there, perhaps. All right, 1 second, and there we go. See, they're showing Cities of Sigmar stuff. Yeah. Free guild grenadiers. I don't know. There's something about the free cities of Sigmar are cool, but I think what I like so much about the traditional Empire is the fact that that guy, does he have a bolter in his hand? It looks like he's like wielding a bolter or something from 40k. Oh no, it's just like a blunderbuss or something. But yeah, free guild gallants. Okay, so it's like a new unit. Yeah, just I like the European kind of inspiration for the Empire, like how the Holy Roman Empire and the historical inflections. These guys definitely have more of like a generic fantasy human. Of course, some historical influences on some of the armor here and there, but obviously it's very fantasy focused. But yeah, yeah, it could be worse. What the hell is that? Like a little demon holding his thing there? I have no idea. Yeah, Slapping Kislev is hard. They're pretty tanky. What is Blunderbuss if not a fantasy bolter? Yeah. I mean, I don't hate these guys. Like, basic humans in a fantasy setting, generic. But we'll see what becomes of them. Old World is fun because what if history had history but fantasy? Right. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's very fun. They seem to have little gremlin friends. Yeah, like on his foot, he's got like a little frog with a hood on or something. He's got a little Palpatine frog. Yeah. Yeah, but this is very much like if you go to like what's it called? Like like sci-fi. Yeah, like this guy I like more. This guy is cooler. Like he's got like some Conan the Barbarian kind of aesthetics to him. The Sadius of Sigmar, Jorvan Creel, heir of the Craven. This guy is actually kind of cool. Like the previous minis is just kind of generic fantasy stuff, but this model I like it. He's got a cool tactical Rockies on. It looks like a roof of a building. I like the leathers. I like the Kraken emblem on his shoulder. This guy to me is a much cooler model. Yeah, much cooler model. He's got he looks like he could be out of Middle Earth as well, like a ranger or something. Yeah. A tactical frog. Yeah, absolutely. The new Haggard Hills tribesmen for Lord of the Rings are the best reveal so far. Okay, Malice Forge Priest. Yeah, I don't hate this guy. Like, this guy kind of has a bit of a fantasy aesthetic to him. He kind of looks like a warrior priest of sorts. Yeah, this is a cool mini as well. Yeah, they're fleshing out that line. They're going to be the guardsmen of Age of Sigmar, right? Yo, it's Dritz Erden, but human. The right has crazy eyes. Yeah, I mean, most miniatures have crazy eyes because it's just so hard to paint them, It's so hard to paint them. Oh, I like that one. That would be a good proxy for a fantasy. Like, if you're playing Warhammer Fantasy, you could totally use this guy as like a warrior priest proxy, which I think a lot of people will, honestly. Like, that's a pretty solid little proxy there. Yeah, and then you have these are just like updated fantasy models. Yeah, like this is like a Bright Wizard. That's a great model too. That's a great model as well. I think this one is really, really nice. This could again be a proxy for fantasy, although I think he wouldn't fit on the right base size. But yeah, he looks great. This is an awesome model. I like this one a lot. He's going for it, dude. Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing? Oh, thank you for the raid. Sorry, I just noticed that. Ruinous Drow, what's going on? Hope you guys had a good one. We're just in between tournament games. We're just kind of looking at some of the Games Workshop reveals that are going down right now. Yeah, I like this mini, though. This one's good. It's cool. Nice little Bright Wizard. Certainly doing it. And there is an Amethyst Nelme. So this is like a Death Wizard, right? So this mini is awesome. If I were to do it, I would probably swap his head for like a regular head. Like I would use some sort of a Necromancer type head there. But yeah, I think that's a cool mini. Again, that one really captures it. There you go. Okay, he does that head on the left is way better. Yeah, I like the face there more so than like the Silent Hill helmet. Yeah, welcome Raiders. Hope you guys are doing well, man. We're just chilling out tonight, having a good time. Ruinous Drow, dude. You got to look into the Dritz novels. Do it for me, brother. It's like the best it's a classic. It has like I don't know how old you are, but it has like a 90s, early 2000s feel to it, but it's very fun. This guy, I don't know if I like it. Yeah, the goat head gives me too much chaos energy, I think. With the Griffin, it's all right. Yeah, this one doesn't excite me as much as the previous ones. Yeah. Dritz, yeah, Keys, the gentleman who just typed below you in Twitch chat, he spelled it correctly. Yeah, so the books, hold on, let me show you. Yeah. Dritz Erden. He's one of the most famous D&D characters of all time. Yeah. It's a really fun series. Basically, what happens initially is Dritz is a drow. He's in the Underdark, and however the hell you say their city, Menzo Berenzen or whatever. And obviously they're a very cruel, evil society, and he's a bit of an outcast. So the story follows his like exile from that kingdom and his escape. Then he like lives in the Underdark and eventually comes to the overworld and like has to like deal with people thinking he's an evil, drow and becoming a ranger. It's really, really fun. Yeah. It's good times. What's up? What's up? Yeah, you could chaosify this thing, although it looks a little bit gentle. Yeah, it's got like goat hooves on the back. Yeah, I don't care for this one too much. It's all right. I wouldn't be excited to put this down on the table though. I'd be like, yeah. It's really good Ruinous Jow. Okay, so you have the Ogre Gunners, guys. So these are what? Gate Gargants. So these are giants with like mini guns on top. Yeah, that's pretty intense. That's pretty intense. Yeah. It's all right. There's something about Age of Sigmar models that can be a bit over-designed. Like, there's just too much detail on them. Like, when I look at painting these, I just, like, don't get excited. I'm like, oh, God, that's going to take so long. But, yeah, no, these ones aren't bad. I like these guys. It's over the top, but honestly, you could see something like this in Fantasy as well. Those are giants? Yeah, I figured as much. They're Gargants, right? Yeah, these minis are cool. I like these ones. They're chained to the ground. No. Oh, yeah, because they're gate guards. These guys are supposed to be guarding the gate of the city, so that's why they're chained down, I guess. I wonder if they can move, or if they have rules on tabletop where they're like snared in place. Hold on one sec, guys. I'm just going to make sure the next round hasn't started yet. Uno momento. Land Ogrins, yeah. All right. Uno momento. I think the games of the round are still going. We will check. And let's see. You've heard about sharks with laser beams on their foreheads. Now giants with Gatling guns mounted on their heads, right? Right. 2 games still to go. All right, guys. We got a little bit of time. We'll go back to chilling and just watching this here. What was that? Like a shrine? It's kind of cool. Like that shrine has a lot of kit bashing potential. If you're into like one sec here. There we go. You could like remove the top part of the shrine, and whatever faction you're playing, you could just like put like a shrine up there. I think that's kind of the coolest part about this mini. It'd even make a good shrine for other games too. You could use this in like Trench Crusade or a couple other game systems. It's kind of neat. You know, the problem I've always had with Age of Sigmar is in terms of the setting, I don't like how the planes are. Like the planes of existence, you know? Like you have like the different realms. It becomes really hard to follow the impact of events and lore. Whereas like when you have like a set planet, like you have Dune, you have Arrakis. Everything is like, you have South Arrakis, you have the different, Sieges. Like everything is like a tangible thing that's easy to analyze. StarCraft, you have like, different planets. We have like Core Hall, whatever. And Warhammer Old World, you have your entire European landscape with obviously South America, other continents as well. It's just, it's tricky for me to get into. These guys are cool though. Like these minis I love. These guys are great. The Hounds, the Van Dent's Hounds. All right, we got the hosts here. They're getting going now, dude. All right. There we go, and we will come back to that later, guys, and we should be ready for the next round in a moment. All right, are we ready? We got 2 games still being played. Make sure there's no admin stuff going on here, guys. Yeah. Okay, let me know when done with the tourney, and I can drop you. Okay. And let's do this. All right, outstanding. Let's go ahead and get it. So we got a little bit of time. We got like 1 or 2 games left, then we go to round 3. Turin, I want to introduce my father to Total War Warhammer 3, but I have the fear that he will get overwhelmed and put down the game quickly. Okay, so what is your dad like? Like, is he, firstly, like one thing to keep people's interest is to, find something that they find very interesting. Watch the stream again. Go back to the stream. What did I miss? Are they showing something right now? Hold on. Let's do this here. Yeah, we still have a little bit of time, so I can go back to the stream real quick. 1 second, guys. Let's do this, and we're going to go there. Okay. Oh, holy shit. Look at that thing. Cannonade Cogfort. Holy shit. There's a walking castle. Damn. That is actually kind of a cool mini. Now, again, I don't know if I would have the fortitude to do that. I don't know if I would have the fortitude to paint that. But that is a pretty cool mini, actually. Yeah, that's like that's pretty sick. It's like a walking fortress, yeah. Very like hybrid between 40k and fantasy. Like this could be a 40k mini. You just put guardsmen on the sides with las guns, right? Or like Sisters of Battle with like flamethrowers or something. That could be like straight up a 40k mini. All right, so yeah, what is your dad into, man? You got to let me know. Give me some direction and I can give you tips. Jan. Yeah, this thing's probably going to be like 300 euros. I know. It's going to be some obscene amount of money. It is cool, though. It is cool. That one is an effing project. I know it is. This would be a lot of work to paint. A hell of a lot of work. That's also another thing. When as I've gotten older, and I also have hand problems, so when I see this, I'm just like, oh God, I don't know if I could handle that. Yeah, these figures are crazy. They are. Yeah, they are. Waiting for a response from you, Jan, regarding your dad's interests. I'm not forgetting about it. Just waiting for a response from you. Like, what is he like in fantasy? You know, like in terms of the setting, is he into like humans, monsters, like creepy crawly stuff, like bad guys? You know, is he like a history guy? Like, is he big into history? Does he like Central European history, like pike and shot, Spanish history, whatever? I just need a little bit of direction there, and I can give you some answers. Dad is into Steely Dan and Coors Light. There you go. Oh my God, it has like a giant cannon in the front. Wow. That's something. That is a big old mini right there. All right. Let's go here. And we are going to get ready to party. GLHF. So let's cut this. Go back this way here. And we'll just keep that minimized in the shadows, and we can open that up ever so often. Let's refresh that. Cool. Almost there, guys. Almost in the next round. One game still to go, so let me message Freya. Which ones are you going? Yo, I don't know if this is the right person. Let me know when done. All right. All right, guys, we're just waiting on this last player. Have you found any more cool factions to add to the modded tourneys? I don't know. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. I kind of want to host like a regular tournament that features a bunch of the regular factions with only a couple modded factions. So we have like Araby, Musion, the more grounded ones that I think are more well balanced. I think that would be really interesting to see what that looks like. I think it'd be really interesting. Yeah, let me know when they do some Old World or some Lord of the Rings stuff, and we can jump over and look, yeah? All right. That's fine. Still got some time left losing. Okay, perfect. And we got just about 20 seconds until the round's done. The players are just finishing up their game right now. The Cog Fort of Sigmar is what that's called, okay. On the bright side, the cities of Sigmar infantry are probably pretty easy to paint since they're mainly just steel buckets. You just like frickin' spray paint them silver, wash them in Nuln, and then dry brush them with the brighter silver, and then they're basically done. There was some Rohan stuff earlier. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I want to see how the modded factions fare against some of the base game factions, Like OVN, I think, has some ones that are pretty close to being balanced. I think like Famir may be a little bit overtuned. But Araby and then also the Albion feel like they could be almost added to the game. They feel pretty close to it. Yeah. It was a Hillmen and Rohan box. That sounds fun. Yeah, the Hillmen, I'm all about that, dude. Some Haggard Saruman action. Sign me up for that, man. Sign me up for that. Okay. Winner reports. All right. So they're reporting the round here, and we're going to be getting into the third round. Should be great. Which will be great indeed. Thank you guys for joining tonight on this fine, whatever the hell. Is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. I don't know what year it is. I have no freaking idea. I don't know what planet I'm on. I don't know what year it is. It's just weird times. All right, guys. So let's advance the Swiss to the next round here. Someday, a bounce pack will be in store. All right, guys. Round 3 is ready. We're going to be getting into a match. And let's do this. Goblins, round 3. Okay, let me go find the declarations and see what fun factions we could watch. We could do a... Ogres? We could do an Ogres game. Let's do Bird. Yeah, we'll get Bird's game. All right, so let's get Bird. Where art thou, Bird? Lobby code, please. Thank you. All right, so we're going to cast an Ogre's game. I don't know what they're playing against, but we're going to get some Chungus Kingdoms. It's time. Prepare the big boys for the fun times. It's the dreaded Wednesday. Okay, it is Wednesday. Yeah. I definitely lose track of the days sometimes. That is for sure. Yeah, Lord of the Rings Tabletop's a great game, though. I play, I have several armies. I have Isengard. I have the Isengard. I have Gondor. My buddy has the, what's it called? The Balrog army. So he's got Moria. Usually it was just me fighting the Balrog over and over. He also has an elven army, too. It's like an army that has like Galadriel and a couple other elf characters with a bunch of archers as well. I do live in the RTS Fog of War. It's true. It is true. Okay, so Bird sent the lobby code over, so we're going to go do a Chungus Kingdom battle. Had a lot of fun playing the Ogres the other day. It was a good time. The Bird Roost. Yes. Ogres, my lord. Yes. Ogres, my lord, indeed. All right, guys, so it's going to be Bird on the Chunguses. Siege of Salernum appears to be the map. That is the map I wanted to see, actually. It's a very fun, newish map we have that allows for some weird playing in the cities. Yeah, it's great fun. Dude, we need some new RTS games. We need a little bit of sauce. I want some freaking Dawn of War 4, man. Turn, please, I need to get my father. Did you answer my question, Jan? Hang on, let me scroll up. Did I miss your answer? Knights also loves Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies. Okay, so your dad likes the Knights, like Knights in general, and he likes the Hobbit movies. Okay. So something with like a Tolkien-esque, but like good guy aesthetic. Empire would probably be overwhelming for him, like the politics of the Empire. If you're saying you're worried about him being overwhelmed. This is not a siege tournament. No, this is just a regular map. It looks like a siege battle, though. Okay. So let me think. Yeah, if your dad wants to play good guys... Kislev is a little bit of a challenging one for beginners as well. High Elves High Elves might not be a bad option for him. Like, the basic High Elf, like, having him play Tyrion, and just, he gets a bunch of cool armored knights and, like, majestic creatures, which, again, is, like, kind of Tolkien-esque. He gets great eagles. Yeah, like, a Tyrion campaign might be good for him, and it's pretty straightforward. You have your own little island. You just kind of purge the enemies from your island. You just kind of teach him how to like put a bunch of archers behind a bunch of spears, and that's how you do it. That's going to be the game plan. Yeah, SLS, yeah. So yeah, have him play Tyrion. Like he gets to play like a cool like elven Tolkien-esque character. Just teach him how to put spears and archers, and then just let the archers sit still, and then eventually he's going to get some cav units. Yeah, Cathay is another one, but if he wants like knights, like big kind of like Dragon Prince-esque knights, Tyrion is not bad. You could also have him play one of the dragons, although the transformation mechanic, if you're saying your dad's a lot older and doesn't have a lot of game experience, that might be a little bit tricky. But yeah, Tyrion, yeah, he could save it's going to feel epic for him to be able to like save that island from all the corruption and unify the elves. I think that would be a good choice for sure. So we'll see. We will see. Play Daniel. Oh, no, that's choosing suffering, man. That is choosing suffering. All right. So it begins. Do not have him play Daniel. Ogres versus Vampire counts. Definitely a matchup that's probably favored for Vampires, but again, it's not unwinnable for Ogres. They are playing Sword on the Lake, which has one objective in the water. So if you guys want to see the Boggolars of the Mad Marsh actually be relevant, you can send them down to the marshes and have them fight there, which is fun. No, yeah. Tyrion High Elves, man. No, not playing tonight. No, my hands are acting up on me. Not my hands, but... So maybe like 5 years ago, I had multiple surgeries. I had carpal tunnel and ulnar tunnel, which is in your elbow. The ulnar tunnel is like, you start having problems in your middle finger and then your outside fingers, like your pinky, and it's been acting up on me a lot. So I'm just kind of taking a break for just today. I'll be back playing soon, but no, it's a couple other things as well. I was playing Diablo 2 off stream, and that was bad. It's just so much spam clicking. It was a mistake, so I stopped playing that. Yeah, you got to be careful, You ever heard of Carthage? I'm hyped, and the devs talked about potentially making multiplayer. No, I haven't heard of that. Is it like Jordan? Is it what kind of a game is that? Carthage, Bellum, Punica? Is it like the Punic Wars or? Yeah, let me know. All the tunnels I know. I got cursed with a lot of those kind of maladies, man. Yeah, we're resting up. We're resting up today, guys. We are. We are resting. I played Daniel in 23, didn't play again until 24. The Daniel campaign's pretty awful. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty freaking terrible. Yeah, so High Elves are a great first campaign. Like, I think the narrative of defending Ulthuan is very fun for somebody getting into the game. And the High Elves are very beginner friendly. You have really stalwart infantry. You have strong characters. Your archers are just like, you could just let them sit still if you face them the right direction and just let the archer shoot, and your dad's gonna have a good time. Yeah, I would say. And they have a strong economy. Yeah, they're kind of just like solid beginner faction. Like, they should be the poster boys for beginner factions, like Tyrion, but not Karl Franz. People say like, oh yeah, play the Empire as your first faction, and then you're just getting like karate chopped by Festus and like all the vampires and the like friggin' the orcs from the south. Yeah. Bar isn't too bad. No, it's just like the games that are the hardest for me are like games where you have to spam click nonstop, like Diablo. You know. High Elf campaigns are great. Yeah, you can tailor armies with special lords. Yeah, those are very fun. Those are very, very fun. He could do a Marienburg campaign first, dude. The dreaded Marienburg. Oh man, that campaign, guys, is so freaking fun. Yeah, dwarves can be harder than you think, though. It depends on which one you're doing, Harkin. Like, I played a legendary Thorgrim campaign, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, just off stream, and I remember just being super annoyed with the greenskins, like, tunneling under the mountains and raiding you, and you're just like, Jesus Christ. They're freaking everywhere, dude. I mean, which, again, is how it should be, but, yeah. It's wild. So Jan saying, your dad hasn't played a strategy game in at least 20 years, but has a concerning amount of hours in games like Elden Ring. Can you give me maybe another 2 suggestions so we can choose? Okay, Tyrion is a great choice. He could also play... Wulfric is a pretty fun campaign. You get to be like Conan the Barbarian, Viking Raider kind of inspired. I would say Wulfric is like a really fun campaign to play as well. Yeah, so there's a few other options. But yeah, Norska is a good one. What would you guys say is the easiest dwarf campaign? What is the easiest dwarf campaign and the easiest Grand Cathay campaign? For like an absolute beginner to the genre who has never played like a grand strategy game, like a modern grand strategy game. I need you guys to help me with this. All right, and then we'll talk about the armies a little bit. Oh, Khorne. Yeah, holy shit, you get him on Khorne. Yeah, dude. Okay, Norska, like Wulfric, and any of the Khorne campaigns are going to be really, really easy. Yeah. Oh, dude, Khorne you can just auto-resolve every fight. Malachi does get some cool shit. Yeah, so Khorne he could play, Blood for the Blood God. He could play Wulfric, High Elves. Thoric and Malachi are probably good options too. Malachi and Thoric, yeah, those are dwarf campaigns. There you go, buddy. You got some options. The Iron Dragon. Yeah, Iron Dragon is also very easy too on Grand Cathay. You could throw him in the mix. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, welcome to this battle, this duel of fates, I dare say. It's going to be the Ogre Kingdoms facing off against the Vampire Counts. And for the Ogres up in Vanguard, led by Bird, he's got, oh, dude, the Boglars of the Mad Marsh. These little gremlins are going to be healing in the water, water bursts. They're going to be fighting in the water at super OP. I don't know how the vampires can win this game now. All right, we do also have Golg's Man-Eaters. Now, these guys against vampires are interesting. They wreck Graveguard and will be good at clearing out chaff. Probably not bad against some of the bigger stuff as well, with just good combat stats and decent armor. So we got 2 of those. We have an Iron Blaster, which is one of my favorite techs against vampire counts. If the vampire count player doesn't have the best micro or lapses, the Iron Blaster is going to end some careers. It can wreck cav units. It can wreck big monsters. It's a good choice. Pigback Riders are going to be the rest of the army and a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. Now for our Vampire Count Chad, it's going to be Sag. He does have Black Knights with Lances, grabbing the outside objective here. And we do see a Strigoi Vampire Lord. This bad boy is anti-large armor piercing and really, really good against ogres. The rest of the army is going to be zombies and skeletons backed up by corpse carts, and then 2 more cav units here, which are both Black Knights. Iron Blaster ripping a shot. Looks like it did do some good damage against the first Black Knight unit, taking down 10 models, which I don't know where they got shot. It must have been out here somewhere. Yeah, but yeah, not having a good time. Middle objective going to go to the Chunguses. Meanwhile, the Ogre's home objective is going to be basically thrown to the dogs right there. A couple Fellbats coming in, looking to shut down the Iron Blaster, but Iron Blasters are really easy to protect. That is for sure. All right, is someone a noob if they... No, Kislev is a great faction to main, Rinsler. They're used all the time, dude. Kislev is a very popular competitive faction who sees it. They're well balanced now, and they see a lot of good play. Hey, Jan, you're welcome, brother. Hope you and your dad have some fun gaming together, dude. That's, yeah, that's good, man. That's some wholesome shit. I like it. All right, Black Knights charging into the Pigback Riders. Now, this is not great for the Vampire counts. Pigback Riders, you know, they're 2 Noblars stacked on a trench coat here, but they do have their anti-large poking sticks, and the Knights are going to be forced back, and overall a good trade there. Iron Blaster, though, putting in work. In the back, we get Mournfang Cav with Great Opens called in to fight all the mobility pieces. The one thing about the Ogres that's a little bit sketchy is they are letting the Vampires get a triple cap on them, which is a little bit dangerous. I think they should have tried to at least hold one objective, but alas, the Vampires are going to be getting that triple cap right there. Meanwhile, the 2 Fellbat units are going to be thrown to the dogs. Mournfang Cav coming out to protect. It's going to take a little bit of time to kill them, but the Fellbats will eventually go down there. Kislev is well balanced. Yeah, multiplayer they are. Absolutely. I mean, they were very strong for a long time, but there's other factions that have power crept them, and yeah, Kislev is really strong and a really good investment to play competitively. Yeah, really, really good. Okay, so Fellbats getting chopped up here. They're going to be getting it pretty good. Meanwhile, the Mournfang Cav with Great Opens chasing away the Black Knights, and now the Chunguses are going to be engaging, but the problem is they're not fighting on any objectives. But the bulls, I mean, I don't know. I figure ogre bulls are like one of those like creatures and ogres in general that have really strong digestive systems, so they could eat some rotten meat and probably be okay. So on the bright side, they'll be able to eat some zombies here, and they're going to be feasting quite well as those zombies do get boinked on the head. And the Golg's Maneaters now going to be getting a beautiful downhill charge while the Iron Blaster puts some hurt down on the Strigoi Lord. And now this is a mistake a little bit by Sag maybe, because these Mournfang Cav could turn around and put a lot of hurt down, although are these Blood Knights? Okay, never mind. If Blood Knights can come in and charge these big Mournfang Cav with the support of the Strigoi Vampire Lord, that could be incredibly dangerous. But the Ogre is trying to get through the chaff. It's going to take a long time. Blood Knights are doing an uphill charge into the Mournfang Cav, and uh-oh, this is not good. The Knights of Red Keep do get afflicted by Dismember, and the Mournfangs will do okay against them, but Blood Knights plus the big Strigoi Chad, and he's going to be doing a Soul Blight on them as well, lowering their stats and armor. Blood Knights are going to win that fight very decisively. More Fellbats being brought in, and now the Black Knight's going to be fighting Saber Tusks on the flanks, and that's going to be very, very good for Count Chocula there. All right, so the fight is on, guys. Blood Knights with Lances are getting dragged down a little bit, you can see here, by the Golg's Maneaters and the Pigback Riders. So the Ogre player was able to send some of his big Maneaters over here, which have amazing armor piercing, by the way, and they have Noblar support, which is like the Ogre power fantasy. And the Blood Knights get folded and sent packing, but so too do the Mournfang Cav. Mournfang Cav got Troll Guts, but they lost most of their units here. And is there going to be an overextension coming in? Some of the Golg's Maneaters chasing the Blood Knights very hard, and now getting caught by zombies and Black Knights on the countercharge. The big issue for Ogres, though, guys, they need objectives. I mean, they're bleeding points so freaking hard. Typically, if you're going to be fighting this hard against Vampire counts, you should at least be fighting on the objective so that you can get some value if you win the fight. But here, you're still going to have to push past them and get to the objective, which is going to be super hard. Golg's Maneaters are boinking these Black Knights here. If the Ogres are going to win this game, it's going to be one of those situations where, in the very final moments of the game, they triple cap their opponent. I mean, they're a little bit ahead on value, but Ogres, you know, they have some healing, but so too do Vampire counts, right? So tricksy hobbitses indeed. But yeah, the Ogres are chewing through the front line. We see a Dismember activated, and the Ogres should really just send like a Pigback and a Bull over here and get objective 3. Stop the bleeding right now, man, because it is getting a little bit out of control. The Iron Blaster has gotten great value this game, I would imagine. About 800, not bad at all, and it is being attacked by Fellbats and a summon of Crypt Ghouls. The Strigoi Ghoul King does have the ability to summon Crypt Ghouls, a very, very strong one here. And here comes Count Chocula flying from the skies. Golg's Maneaters are doing great, but they're isolated by Blood Knights and a lot of anti-large. So they're going to have a bad time, although some Saber Tusk packs do get in. But Blood Knights do have amazing armor. They have 110 armor, so low AP units typically struggle against them. Mournfang Cav going to be piling in. And Golg's Maneaters getting a very, very clutch Troll Guts right there. Certainly going to keep that fighting going. Soul Blight is going to be the response from the Vampire counts, further debuffing the armor and damage of these units. All right, so when are the Ogres going to make a play for the objective? We do see their Iron Blasters caught in melee by the Fellbats, so really, really nice play by our Vampire Count Chad. Able to drag this bad boy down, and that Iron Blaster has certainly seen better days, and this is not one of them, as he does pay the ultimate troll toll. Double Ogre Bull coming in. Man, oh man. Yeah, they might help push through. The Vampire counts are losing a little bit of ground in the middle. You can see that several Vampire count positions have been folded, but they still have multiple waves of zombies and skeletons, which are not easy to get through. And this is a pretty decisive win for the Vampire counts on the outside here. We do see Count Chocula able to break down the Ogre position for the most part, but the Blood Knights are getting a little bit low, I suppose, and maybe the Skeleton Warriors are critical, and we'll see how this fight unfurls, but it does look like Vampires mostly win that fight. Big Chungus is heading down here. Nothing heading towards Objective 3 quite yet. The Bulls are on parade, and they're good enough against Skeletons. Skeletons do have light armor, but Skeleton Spearmen are happy to fight Ogre Bull type units, and I love the karate kicks from the Ogre unit. So freaking good. So good indeed. So somebody asking about the value on the Blood Knights. Probably not terrible, all things considered. We can take a look. I would wager about maybe like 1,200, 1,300. Wow, even better, 2,000 value. So yeah, fighting those big targets really paid big dividends for the big boys over there. Vampire counts getting folded a little bit, guys, and just like we talked about, the Vampire counts were basically fighting a battle in Ogre territory, which means that they're going to be giving up a little bit of value because the Ogres get quicker reinforcements than them. But for doing that, they do get to have all the objectives, basically. So now the Ogres are going to have to find a way to start playing the objectives. The Vampires are going to be reaching 1,000 points here in just a second, so it's not going to be easy to rat claw their way back in here, and we're going to see if they're going to be able to do it. So Gold's Man-Eaters, Ogre Bulls, and Pigback Riders surging forth, and the Crypt Ghouls here are going to be getting chewed up by Gold's Man-Eaters. In the meantime, zombies heading in. More zombies reinforcing out here. I like that by Sag. I like that he's kind of reinforcing every objective now, and knowing that it's going to be an objective victory game. The Ogres are finally getting into the cookie jars, Gold's Man-Eaters. 1,000 value on them, not bad. Iron Blaster are going to be getting a Troll Guts, and the Slaughtermaster are going to be trying to get these bats off. Those bats have been quite menacing. Saber-Tusk packs and Ogre Bulls heading over here, and the Ogres are now starting to enjoy the benefit of their value lead a little bit. Looks like Crypt Ghouls called in, or Crypt Horrors are going to be heading to the middle, but the Ogres here might be able to just get the side objective. The Ogre Bull dual weapons and Pigback Riders should be able to drag down all of these bad boys right here. So the Skeleton Warriors are going to be on the brink of death right there. Saber-Tusks and Ogre Bulls arrive here. Going after Yield Zombies. So the zombies getting chewed up. And honestly, we could see a comeback here from the Ogres a little bit. They did trade value-wise pretty well on that defensive hill position. But man, oh man, is it hard to wrestle shit from the Vampire counts. They are a very sticky faction and are pretty hard to get through here. Strigoi Vampire Lord, anti-large attacks. Could be a nice pick here if you can get that Slaughtermaster. Slaughtermaster kind of stands alone a little bit. Iron Blaster going to be trying to get away. 1,500 value on it has been very good. Ogres do manage to get objective number 3. And now we see more of Gold's Man-Eaters coming in. These guys are pretty freaking cool. They do have the Ogre Charge and Adapted Tactics. So when they start losing in combat, they get a pretty considerable buff, which is actually, quite decent when they're getting swarmed and whatnot. So it does look like these bad boys are going to be getting a double cap here. We see Bird grabbing this objective. He's got objective 1 and the middle objective going to the Chunguses as well. Now on the outside, Blood Knights would be a great choice here, but it's going to be Black Knights. Black Knights could probably fight these units off with zombie support. We'll see how they're used, but the Vampire counts starting to lose a little bit of ground. The Ogre grind is getting there. It looked very bleak for the Ogres, I must admit. I didn't think they would be able to get it back on time, but they started to play the objectives very, very well there in the later stages of the game. Saber-Tusk back, fleeing away, and the Black Knights, they need to come here, and the Vampire counts need to find a way to start ninjaing the objectives if they can. Like, send some Crypt Ghouls, like Spec Ops, with some Blood Knights somewhere, and try and, find some picks where you can. Obviously, the Vampire counts would win very comfortably on just one objective, so all they need to do is get back one objective and hold it for a short period of time. Nice pick here, guys. Strigoi Vampire Lord going for the head of the snake. The Slaughtermaster is getting hunted by a vastly superior combat character, and here comes the mighty Strigoi flying overhead, and he is going to be descending on that Ogre character who got boinked on the ground there. And, honestly, the Ogre character could for sure get taken out of action. Could be a very bad time for him. Ogres, though, have 2 of the Gold's Man-Eaters. The outside objective is in the danger of flipping back. The Black Knights and the zombies getting the job done here. And if you're the Vampire count player, I think you just start reinforcing here, like sending like 5 units of Crypt Ghouls over here, whatever you can. You got to just play to the areas where you have little advantages, right? And also here, we do see Crypt Ghouls coming there. Might be able to into this one, so it's certainly not over for the Vampire counts, guys. The Ogres are going to have to take this one very seriously. They are catching up on points, but that Strigoi Lord is a big carry piece, right? Like, the Ogres don't really have, like, a big carry that can really just kind of hammer the late game down, whereas the Strigoi Vampire Lord is a menace. He's going to be terror-routing positions, causing a ton of problems, and this is very nice, guys. Black Knights getting it done here. Black Knights will be able to dominate Saber-Tusks because of their 110 armor, so they'll be very happy with that trade. Couple zombies here. Iron Blaster shot, though. Very, very nice, guys. Very nice. Able to get some DPS right there. Meanwhile, on this side, Mornfang Cab with great weapons called in, and will they be able to save the objective? Probably not super effectively, honestly, because Fellbats and Crypt Ghouls are infantry, Mornfang Cav with great weapons are designed to fight big stuff, and I think they're going to lose. A lot of undead chaff units here, and the Strigoi Vampire Lord with anti-large and all of his claws is going to be a big old problem. Ogres are sweating bullets right now, guys. Sure, they did take the middle, but they're going to need to find a way to get the other ones. We do see a Troll Guts activated on the Slaughtermaster, maybe. Some sort of witchcraft, yes. That's going to be there. Saber Tusks and Ogre Bulls trying to fight the Black Knights off. Maybe I think they'll be able to resecure this objective with some Pigback Riders, but the Vampires have seemed to have gotten their rotten talents here in objective number 1. Crypt Ghouls coming over. The Mornfang Cav here are getting dragged down by the Pimp King and his ghouls with the poison, certainly very effective. And here comes the Slaughtermaster, guys. It is going to be a duel of fates. The Vampires are now getting 2 victory tickets again, and the Ogres did close the point gap a little bit. They still have a lot more work to do here, that is for sure. All right, Vampires holding on over here. Pigback Riders going to be arriving. The Pigback Riders are going to be a counter against these Knights for sure. Not really great against zombies, but with some Saber Tusks, and if those Ogres do rally, could be pretty big. And here come the Pigbacks with their Haggard Opera Viking helmets, which are very, very funny. Yep, those guys getting crumbled down. Zombies coming across with more zombies. The zombies may be able to fight off the Notbar units. We're going to see. Middle objective is being held by Golg's Maneater, slowly cleaving through the various chaff units, and this point is now being heavily contested. And it does look like the Chunguses were able to rally some reinforcements, some Ogre Bulls and some Saber Tusks, and they are starting to flip that objective back. Zombies going to be clashing with the Saber Tusks. Very, very nice game so far. It's been pretty evenly matched between these two players. Certainly a good one. I'm glad we caught it. Soul Blight right there, very nice. Some good Soul Blights this game. Lowering armor and damage in general, not bad. I mean, most of these Ogre units don't have a lot of armor to begin with, but it's not irrelevant. It makes a little bit of a difference here. Crypt Ghouls and the Strigoi Ghoul King might be able to win with Terror too, though. We see a lot of the Ogre reinforcement units getting Terror routed, and the Iron Blaster, I mean, you could start trying to kill the Strigoi Ghoul King, but at this point in the game, I don't think you're going to be able to do it. And this outside objective, the Ogres are very close to getting it. And they should be able to stabilize on this once those Ogre Bulls arrive. So guys, not much time left. Only 30 seconds left for the Ogres. And the Ogres need to find a way to get this objective. And right now, they're going to be sending Golg's Maneaters over there, sending some of the Ogre Bulls there. And what a nice back and forth game. But this objective is flipping, but not fast enough, guys. And Count Chocula has Crypt Ghouls and Dogs coming in here. Very, very good decision making by the Vampire Count player. And I think he's going to get it. There's only, 10 seconds left in the game. Very, very close. If the Ogres had a couple more minutes, maybe. But honestly, the Vampires are kind of in this game value-wise, too. The Strigoi Lord, a big, big problem, guys. GG, well played. The Sires of Morcane getting it done. And the Vampire Counts able to end the game there. I think the Vampires were actually starting to win some of the value trading, too, in some areas at least. This Ghoul King is such a menace. He's such a beast. 3,000 value on him. Cool seeing all the Black Knights being used. I like that. Seeing like the Vampire Count Cav build, you don't see it. They didn't do super well, and that's honestly probably why the game was close. But regardless, it was fun to watch. Blood Knights were really good, 2,600 value there. And overall, cool usage too. The Ogres brought Golg's Maneaters, and they did great. 1,900 value, 1,200 value. The Iron Blaster did good. I think if the Juan, not tonight, but yes, in the next few days. We're probably going to have a bar stream tomorrow or soon. I don't know when. At the very least, we'll post a video about bar. But yeah, I think the Ogres made a big mistake not fighting on an objective. If the Ogres had just had their big army fight in the beginning on the objective, I think that they could have won the game. He just fought off the objectives, let his opponent triple cap him, and I think that's why he paid the price. All right, so let me check this. And we're going to go down here. All right, and refresh that. Do you have a little bit of time? Yeah, so let me explain to you guys real quick and go back and we can do a little bit of that. All right, we'll get in this game. No, the Ogres were totally in that game, though. I mean, Bird played a really good game. He just, I think, made some rough decisions pertaining to the early objectives, I think that's what cost him. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll give you a little bit of an old man breakdown on this, see what's going on here. All right, so what needed to happen is the Ogres needed to take their entire army to Objective 1 and hold it, or Objective 3. It doesn't matter. One of those objectives. Actually, probably not that one. Maybe Objective number 3 on the far side. Just one of these 3 objectives, the Ogres needed to fight over. See how they're up on the hill here? They're going to win value trading here, but they could have just gone to Objective 3, parked their entire army there, and then value traded in that area. Because then they wouldn't have been so behind on points. It would have been they would have had a lot more time to work with. But just fighting for nothing. Basically here, you're fighting for value, yes, but you're not fighting over any ground, which is problematic, right? The Vampire Counts are more than happy to just sit and milk points off you. That didn't need to happen. They could have gotten to one objective, they could have held it, and they could have just fought their way out of the paper bag there. But here, trying to fight out of this, I mean, it's rough. It's super rough. They just needed to fight over one objective. and I think they might have honestly won that game. Yeah, the Mornfang Cav were all right too. That was another weak link. I think having the Mornfang Cav in the build is good, but that late game call of them was all right, I guess. Yeah, you had a bit of a rough exchange. All right, so let's see what's cooking here. We're gonna refresh this a little bit, and how are we looking? Yes. Couple more games still to go. So in that case, we can head on over and see the Haggard GW stream. Kind of fun to watch it. See what's cooking there. And it looks like they're showing some orcs or something. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, orcs. He's got his choppa. He's got his choppa ready. The Vamp Lord is a raid boss. He really is. Yeah, they're very, very tough to kill. Yeah, ogres do struggle a little bit to chaff spam, but honestly, it's not as bad as you think. Because a lot of ogre players will just use like... oh, that's Armageddon box. Okay. They're going to use a lot of Noblars. And Noblars trade pretty well into cheap spears, honestly. Yeah. Shooter or Chapo and both. Okay. I don't know what they're trying to show us here. Show us something cool. And this guy's, he's all right. Somebody said they revealed 11th edition. Did we miss that? I'm super excited for 11th edition 40K. That's something I've been fiending for a long time. Kind of burnt out on 10th edition, to be honest. We just have to watch this on repeat, I guess. Okay. Very exciting, high-octane GW stream action here. Is he gonna rotate to the left and right a couple more times? I don't know if I can take that excitement. Oh my God, he's doing it again. There he goes. There he goes, guys. Look at the dreaded back and forth rotation. So what do they say about the new edition? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Look at this Squig. He's great. Did they say anything about 11th edition, or what's the deal with that? Or is it just like it's coming, and did they say when it's coming? Yeah, I'd be curious. Where can we see stuff about the new edition? Is there an article on like Warhammer Community we can go read? Because man, I'm very not into the current edition. Waiting for that 11th. The Armageddon box looks like an 11th starter box. It could be, yeah. It's got Space Marine, so it's got it going. Yeah, they showed a lot. Okay, cool. They'll probably put an article up on their website where hopefully we'll be able to read that. Okay. Let's go back and check here real quick. The tournaments. We'll come back to these lads in a moment. Okay. Are we ready for the next round yet? Not quite yet. Okay. Handful of games still being played, guys. And then we will go from there. One sec. Where the hell is this? There we are. And refresh. All right. Codexes will be safe. No new books day one. Okay, so let's see. So no more objective markers? Now objectives are terrain. Ooh, that's going to be interesting up to interpretation. I'm curious how tournaments are going to be handling that. Okay, so you're saying for 11th edition, yeah, summarize some of the stuff we could talk about. So no objective markers. Terrain are now objectives, which from a flavor perspective is a lot better. Codexes will be safe. There's no new books day one. Also a new box set for Trench Crusade 2. Oh, you're saying separately. Okay. Can you send me a link to that, Legion, in Discord? What IPs do you guys want Creative Assembly to get a hold of? Oh, man, what would we like to see? I mean, I think Trench Crusade would be very fun. I'm very biased. Game of Thrones would be really cool too, because it'd be very light fantasy, but with like a cool historical inflection as well. I think Game of Thrones Total War would be amazing. Like just a Westeros battle, and then you could like expand it over to the Braavosi and those like Eastern kingdoms and stuff like that. No stratagem stacking. Okay, so you can only have like one stratagem per unit, like activated on an individual unit. Are the heroes still going to be embedded in units in 40K? Did they say anything about that? Yeah, all right. We got some schemes cooking. We got some schemes a cooking. No stratagem stacking. All right. All right. I don't know if what they're talking about. Hopefully they'll show us something cool in a second. Looks like they have their faces look like they're about to show us something, or they're saying goodbye. One of the two. Oh, thanks for watching. Okay, they're done. That's it. Well, that was all right. Cool. And let's go to the Warhammer community, see if they say anything. We got 2 games still to go. Warhammer community. Weak unit variety in Game of Thrones. I think you could. There's enough. Like you could take enough liberties with. Yeah, they don't have anything about the. The new Riders of Rohan minis. The old Riders of Rohan were pretty haggard, but yeah, the new ones look pretty good here. It looks like in the Hillman tribes. Okay. I think you could totally just have like, House Lannister have very different units from, the Starks, for example, House Stark, right? I think it would be pretty good. You roll charge distances and then choose your targets. That's kind of nice. I like that change. Terrain is now objective, no more circles. Yeah, what's going on right now? We were watching the Games Workshop reveals a little bit. Okay. You want to see them go back to classical era in history or Shogun? Well, I mean, they're doing a new medieval game, so I mean, that's obviously going to be scratching that itch. I think medieval has been a game that people have wanted for a long time. I'm super down for that. Like, I'm kind of thinking when medieval comes out, we'll hit the campaigns actually really hard. Like, play medieval campaigns and play 40k campaigns too. Of course, multiplayer as well, but it all sounds like it'd be fun. They basically have Imperial Knights and say, I know, I saw them, Legion. I saw them, like the walking fortresses. Yeah, those things were pretty nuts. All right, making sure we're all good here. Smokey needs to drop. Let's refresh this. Copy. So we're going to have to drop our boy Smokey, and then Mr. Hill's going to have his points adjusted. Do your pylons and consolidates before fighting across the board. Okay. The pilot and consolidate mechanic has always been a bit of a funky one. People got really gamey, a lot of shady stuff in tournaments with that. The new Skaven. I think I saw some of the new Skaven stuff, yeah. While we were gandering on that earlier. Okay, so just adjusting this, and then guys, we're going to be getting into the next match of the gods here. Give it to me, Precious. I think they did good waiting for Medieval 3. Hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully it'll be good. You never know. By the way, whoever was talking about a new Trench Crusade box, send that my way, man. I want to take a look at that. New Trench Crusade box. Oh, the Carcass front awaits. Oh, shit, okay. Let's take a look at this. It's pretty neat. All right, so it's done. So this was posted, or they're trying to compete a little bit with GW, huh? How do you protect your channel from crypt? Yeah, I mean, you just basically have to be firm with your, like your channel protections and your email and everything. Yeah, just like you would protect your email. It's the same thing. Okay. A new Trench Crusade box. So it's called the Carcass Front. New fighters join the... Oh, damn. Oh, those guys look cool. Oh, man. So let's start with the minis. Carcass Front brings 2 long-awaited warbands to the Trench Crusade. The Blighted Warriors of the Procession of the Sacred Affliction and the Murderous Heretic Naval Raiders. The miniatures will be included in the box, ready to play 700 ducat warbands. Oh, dude. These minis are cool. These are the Naval Raiders. Yeah, I love it. I love like the naval rust kind of on these guys, like the way their armor looks. It's actually not too hard of a scheme to do either. And it looks like that's the Lord of the Warband. Damn, that's really, really cool. Awesome, dude. Awesome. And then we have the Procession of the Sacred Affliction. So these are good guy factions. They're like plague-ridden pilgrims that are good guys. They look really good too. Damn. Both of the boxes are set in an unexplored area of the Trench Crusade world, the Carcass Front, which is the name given to the war-torn lands north of Antioch. It's a 2-player narrative campaign, the Path to Leviathan. So you could play the Path to Leviathan with your other warbands too, it looks like. That's nice. Carcass Front also features a map-based campaign of 2 to 8 players that will see warbands battle over resources and esoteric... Oh, sweet! So we could do new campaigns with our other factions using this. Dude, this is so cool. Oh man, I'm pumped for this. This is awesome because it's going to be augmenting the campaign with some new features and you and your friends can play a campaign there. That's really cool, man. I'm all about that. That looks like a lot of fun. All right, let's refresh the website and advance to the next round. Dude, I'm telling you, Trench Crusade is a goated game. It is. It's super fun. The campaigns are amazingly fun right now, and it looks like they're going to be improving on them with like unique narrative campaigns you can play with the homies. All right, we're going to the next round. Let's advance it. Here we go. And let's do it. I really like painting those minis too. Okay, Lydon versus Outer Region, Turtles, and Danikin. Who do we want to get next? All right, so we're going to go ahead and announce that we're starting. And Goblins, round 4. So we got 2 more rounds of regulation, followed by semis and grand finals. Round 4. Good luck, have fun. So we're going to announce that to everybody, and then we're going to go cast Driver versus Hitman Hippo. So we just need to find Driver's lobby. Here it is. He always puts a spectator slot on, which is nice. I did see the new Cities of Sigmar stuff. Pretty over the top, for sure. Pretty over the top. Turn, since I just got the game, I don't have the High Elf DLC. Should I get Tides of Torment 1 or the Queen of the Crone? Yeah, let's see. It's like, what is this for you, Jan, or is this for your dad? And if you have more questions like this, hit me up in Discord. It'd be a little bit easier that way, and then I can answer your questions, I think, a little bit more efficiently. Let me get you a link to the Discord channel, dog. All right. There you go. You can message me, or you can just talk to people in the Discord in general. Just go to the general chat, and you know, people will answer you after, you know, a little bit of time. But yeah, I mean, I think the Tides of Torment one, it depends on what you want to play, really. Like, I would say even the High Elf, the recent High Elf one is very fun. It adds some cool units like the Sea Elementals and Oceanids. I haven't played in any bar tournaments, no. No, I'm not good enough for that. Yeah. I just got the game, I don't have the High Elf. So you need to get the Warhammer 2 one, yeah? Mongo says 0-5. He said, hell not. Oh, you're not going 0-5 because you got to buy around. The powerful Mongo. Dude, did you see us, Mongo, posting your win the other day? Your fat epic win with the Bone Giants we posted? It was glorious. All right, so we have Empire versus Norska. I mean, hey, it doesn't get any better than this. Empire Norska is super fun. I was actually thinking about playing Empire tonight anyway, so this is great. Okay, let's do that. And there we go. So it begins. Do it to it. Okay, all sets, scores. Mongo, I just gave you your Byron point. Okay, one sec, guys. Just doing some adminning, and then I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, guys, we're all set, and adminning is taken care of, and now we can go back to shooting the shit a little bit. So Empire Norska, man, grenade launchers are really fun. Lots of fun, cool play here. Yeah. Mongo says, I did see. Can't believe you actually posted that haggardness for the world to see. No, man, it was great. We loved it. It was a good time, man. Yeah, so if you get any High Elf DLC, you get the base roster. I don't know how that actually works, Athlarian. I have no idea. We'll figure it out in Discord, though. We'll ask some of the homies who play more campaign. They'll be able to take you up on that. All right, Sons of Sigmar versus Norska. Stand at the ready. We're going to see some great swords, some heavy Empire Cav, all sorts of rad shit coming our way, which is going to be perfect. As far as what I would do in this matchup, Spearman Shields, maybe like a single cannon. You can get Huntsman too. Knights of the Blazing Sun are pretty good. Demogryph Knights, having one demi is always a nice choice against like Famir. You could also go very wide like Handgunner, but you got to watch out for Dreadmaws. But Dreadmaws are, you know, you can usually avoid them with good micro. We're going to post a video of that draw from a few days ago. Oh, and Orver, thank you. Yeah, you reminded me. I'll maybe go back and cast that tonight. We'll do what we could do. I know, Stephen Colbert is producing a new Lord of the Rings movie. Pretty wild, yeah. I know, and The Hunt for Golem is coming along, apparently, so... I'm cautiously optimistic, you know? Like, it's... I feel like Andy Serkis is very passionate about the Lord of the Rings universe, and he's in charge of The Hunt for Gollum. And he's working, with some of the OG crew as well. And I hope that, from what I've seen from Stephen Colbert, he's like a huge Tolkien nerd, like a Silmarillion, like true Tolkien nerd. So I'm hoping he'll do something really cool and inspired. But you never know, man. You never know. Outside influences can get their evil talons in those IPs and cause some drama. So, I mean, Henry Cavill was a big fan of The Witcher, and we all know how that turned out. So it's, yeah, we'll see. You're watching the Hung video. It was literally just Attila Total War. Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was. All right. So Driver is ready, and Hitman Hippo and his Norskins stand at the ready very soon as well, I would imagine. You went to Warhammer World today and ended up with the Lizardman Army. It's a pretty cool place. Yeah. I've always wanted to go. The real Entwives of Fangorn Forest. Oh, my God. I mean, the exciting show for sure. He's a giant fan, yeah. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I always thought it'd be fun to go to Warhammer World. I've also seen Stephen Colbert in interviews where he talks about Lord of the Rings, and he seems pretty legit. He knows his stuff. Yeah, that's encouraging. It's encouraging, if he's, obviously he's creating new material based on source material, but I feel like he would do it justice. Yeah. All right, guys. Cool builds, Boris Todd. Yeah, that's a really standard Empire army against Norska. Like State Troopers, Burning Head to roast the Berserkers, Toddy and a Bright Wizard, Demogryph Knight with Terror to fight the big stuff, and some grenade launchers. This is like about as meta of an Empire army as you can get against Norska. It used to be a little bit different before the Dreadmont, but yes, times are changing. Cygnus says, to be fair, Cavill isn't the reason The Witcher sucked. It was all the other crap. That's exactly what I'm saying, though. That's exactly my point, is that even if Stephen Colbert is a huge Tolkien fan and he goes in optimistic, the people who are working on the project with him, outside influences, studio executives, other producers, they can still screw the project up, right? Despite having one person who's very passionate about it. So that's kind of the point I was making. Yeah. All right. So players are loading in. And let's see what we got cooking, man. It's going to be good. Let's see what's going down. So for the Empire Army, State Troopers, and the most cost-effective one is going to be Spearman Shields. And you just let them get mulched by Norskins and take a beating. While Boris Todbringer does a lot of damage and causes big terror, because he does have the Blood Roar as well as Crush the Weak, so it's going to be negative 12 leadership in total, which is quite good. And then you get a Burning Head Wizard, who's going to be burning heading the Norskins. Demogryph Knights, very effective here. They can fight pretty much all the Norskin big stuff and uptrade into those things. Well, not even uptrade, but just trade well into them. And grenade launchers are gods here in this matchup. Norska has a ton of lightly armored infantry they love to spam. So if you can protect your grenade launchers, then you're going to be very, very happy with yourself. So there you go. On the backside, for Hitman Hippo, Marauder Horsemen, we do have some doggies. It's going to be a couple Norskin Ice Wolves. We have a Shaman Sorcerer of Death with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna, and Berserkers and Marauder Bearmen. Good choices. Marauder Bearmen are great damage sponges. They have 11,000 HP, so incredibly tanky. And then Throg is not bad in this matchup. He's a good anti-large duelist. He can definitely fight somebody like Toddy and or Empire Cav units, and Death is great. Just using Fate of Buna on grenade launchers to one-shot them, or using it on, any of the Reiksguard Knights, Demis, a decent opportunity to Spirit Leech them as well. So not bad. All right, guys, so the battle is soon to be on. Looks like the players are just preparing their armies for the Clash of Titans. We will see who's going to be emerging victorious in this glorious, glorious duel of fates. A standard Toddy army, it really is. It is, This is like a definitely on the nose of what you would want to bring. Hitman Hippo, though, pretty damn strong player, but so is Driver. Driver has been killing it in tournaments the past few months, and is an Empire main. I believe he mains Empire, among a couple other factions, but Empire has been his jam. The grenade launchers chasing away the Marauder Horsemen, sending them packing. Meanwhile, that objective not going to be taken, which is a bit odd. Definitely you should sit on that objective and finish taking it. Little mistakes like that against good players can, of course, cost you. The Demogryph Knight's going to be following that position, going out to maybe screen out the Norskin Ice Wolves, while the grenade launcher's going to be trying to chase these horsemen off the point. Not going to be super easy. All right, guys. One sec here. Cool. Demogryph Knights heading on over to battle against the Norskin Ice Wolves. And that objective still not taken, but the State Troopers will be arriving soon. Norska is going to be consolidating its army in the woods. By the way, what the hell is Throg doing here? Throg has ran all the way back into the bushes with that Shaman Sorcerer. He was like literally over here and then ran into the bushes when he could be just over here somewhere. I don't know what witchcraft that is, man, but that is some weird play right there. That is some very, very weird play. Spearmen going to be arriving on the point, so objective 3 is going to be taken. Meanwhile, over on the middle, objective 2, we got a lot of spearmen and a lot of Bright Wizard action coming in here. Boris Todbringer charging into the Marauder Horsemen right there. Meanwhile, Reiksguard Knights are called out. So that's the fate of unit target. Reiksguard Knights are really good against Norska. 120 armor is quite substantial. But they are going to get kited by the Horsemen pretty effectively, and we'll see how that all turns out. Yeah, in before Throg trips running into melee, I know. It's always my favorite. Yeah, so 2 Spearmen will hold that down pretty well, and the Empire does have their clutches on the middle objective. Meanwhile, Norska calling in a dreaded Chimera. The OP breath attacks will come, and Throg and the Deathcaster are taking a very circuitous route. They're just like, yeah, we're just going to go all the way around the outside here and live our best life. Reiksguard Knights moving in. A little bit of a charge into the Marauder Horsemen, picking off a couple of them and not taking too many casualties themselves. So overall, a pretty good trade for the Sons of Sigmar right there. Objective number 3 still being held by the Empire. Now we're starting to see War Wagons being called in. Now War Wagons historically have always been super meta against Norska. They're really, really good at shooting the monsters like the Chimeras and the Manticores and some of the other, Throg type things really. It's quite good. And yeah, Throg and the Shaman Sorcerer, don't know why they're being so chill back there, but I guess they're worried about a cannon being called in, some sort of shooting. Now this map is really funny. There's supply camps on the backside, so each player has a supply camp. If you capture your opponent's supply camp, it gives you additional resources. It's one of our unique maps. We don't use it too often, but it makes for some interesting circumstances. We did have it in a sweaty Grand Finals tournament of a World Championship, and Ticity actually was playing Slanesh and was capturing his opponent's supply cache, which was so freaking funny. Because it's incredibly hard to do. I mean, they have all their spawns back there. It's really, really tough. War Wagon shooting into the Chimera. Great choice there. Hitman Hippo is going to be trying to juke that. Grenade Launcher is getting a little bit of a salvo right there as the Horsemen and the Marauders trade. Looks like a couple of those Grenadiers do eat some fat Norskan javelins to the face and do go down right there. Demogryph Knights and War Wagon screening out the Chimera. Overall, it does look like Driver is in a very commanding position. He's winning a lot of the trades in the skirmishing, but Norska is going to be sounding the horn of war here very, very soon. Hey, Audi, thank you for the donation, man. Jeez Louise. 100 Australian dollars, that is insane, man. Bowie, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, man. And makes a world of difference. Seriously, man. Thank you so much for your support. That is massive, brother. All right. Spearman gathering in Bowie's honor here. Demogryph Knight's going to be chasing away the Chimera as well as the other beastie right there. And over on the middle objective number 2, we see the ranks being formed while the Reiksguard Knights continue screening out the Marauder Horsemen at a bit of a cost. They do lose some models here and there, but nothing terribly devastating. War Wagon's getting the Chimera low, and it's not the ROR, so it's not going to be able to heal. That is for sure. Those extra points to capture for sure add a new layer of strategy. They do, and it's fun. We have a couple maps like that. Chimera getting a breath attack right there, but the Demogryphs mostly dodging it. Looks like 2 of the Demogryph Knights did get roasted by the Chimera breath, so relatively cost effective, but the Chimera has already lost half of its HP. That is quite a bit. And the grenade launchers are going to be running. I love the Empire stuff, dude. They're just the coolest faction. Look at this shit. It's like riding down these haggard barbarians with grenade launchers. And yep, Bearmen get cooked there. They get cooked over here on the far side. Norska is going to be doing an envelop, so they're going to be coming around the outside. They might actually try and steal the objective, the home objective for the Empire, the war camp, and get extra resources, which would be hilarious. We got Free Company Militia being called in to screen out with a little bit of pistol fire. And yeah, Norska is just preparing for a big envelop right now. And they haven't taken so much damage that it's like game over or anything. They're totally fine. But that Chimera getting smashed up is very good for the Sons of Sigmar. So more Spearmen on the way out. Norska is advancing. Throg, the Troll King, and the Deathcaster. We're going to be seeing a Fate of Buna going down right here on the Reiksguard Knights. That would be the correct target for sure. So they're going to be charging here. We're going to see Fate of Buna on the Reiksguard Knights. A couple Marauder Bearmen moving out, but no, he's going to be saving that Buna for an actual fight, trying to break open a position, and we will see how it goes. All right, Free Company Militia and State Troopers at the ready, General, on objective number 2. The Bright Wizard here is going to be chilling with his fat burning heads. Certainly going to be some huge opportunities. Like, look at all these juicy burning heads targets as they do move in that general direction. So grenades coming across. Here they come on the Marauders. So beautiful shot right there, as those Marauders are going to be getting cooked up a little bit. Couple Frost Doggies trying to find their way in, but it's not going to be easy. But here comes the big onslaught. Marauder Bearmen and Marauder Champion Great Weapons. These guys are an absolute brick house of a unit. They're going to be super, super tough to get through, but we'll see if the Empire can do it. A lot of crossfire coming in. Beautiful kill box for the Empire as all their Free Company Militia unleash the firepower. Driver really showing us how to play the Empire here. Looking very, very nice as he catches some of the haggard barbarians overextending, and that's going to be a burning head going down right there. A bit of a miss, though. Nice dodge by Hitman Hippo, as the burning head only tickles those Marauders and continues rolling through. But this is the hard part for the Empire. when the big Norskan push comes in and they start to win all the infantry fights. Because again, it's very, very favored in that way. Free Company Militia shooting into Throg, going to be sending him packing into the trees. Todbringer actually getting some big routes, and you can see the Norskan leadership is getting very fickle when Boris Todbringer is nearby, as is expected. His name is freaking Deathbringer in German. I mean, of course you're going to be afraid of him, right? Free Company Militia blasting away and getting a lot of value. Honestly, these Free Company have been pretty amazing so far. Empire Knights coming back here to chase down the Horsemen. Fate Buna activated on the grenade launcher from Hitman Hippo, which is a very, very good choice. And now the lines have been clashing. The disciplined troopers of the Empire facing off against the barbarian hordes, and the hordes of Norska will certainly have the advantage in the infantry fight. Objective number 3 is going to be in the hands of the Empire pretty comfortably, and Demograph Knights going to be sweeping into the backfield to keep these wagons online. And so far, the Sigmarites are holding, but now we got some big dogs coming in. It's going to be the Marauder Champions. Grenade launchers getting caught in melee here, going to need to flee. As the Enforcers of Norska have arrived, Marauder Champions, I think a very cost-effective unit. Demograph Knights going to be trying to charge into them, but they don't want that in sustained combat. Not going to be good for them. Those Marauder Champions will beat them down if they keep fighting. All right, guys. Wagons shooting into the side here against the Bearmen as Reichsguard Knights holding back the Mobility Corps. And here, Marauder Champions with great weapons could probably solo this entire objective. So now many things are presenting themselves that are going to be very precarious for the Empire. Norska might even be able to counter triple cap them here. Grenade launchers going to be fleeing, while Free Company Militia shooting into the back of the Marauders right here. And more Empire Knights are called out, going to be intercepting these Norskan Ice Wolves. Lances couched for Sigmar, and there they go. Beautiful charge right there, and those dogs are going to be sent packing most likely. It's going to take some time, but the Norskan Ice Wolves will be getting sent back to the pits for now. Far side objectives being held, but those Marauder Champions are slowly cleaning it off. Middle objective is going to be taken by Norska, and we do see Fate Buna activated on the Royal Altorf Griffites. That's going to be a very, very nice cast right there. While the Bright Wizard is being hunted down by the Chimera, War Wagons are a little bit tied up here. And this is basically what happens every time in this matchup. The Empire value trades well initially. They get pushed back, and then it's a desperate fight to get out of their own spawn. So pulling up in the sky is Boris Todbringer. And we see Throg trying to get away here. He does have his Foe Seeker. Speed, Charge Bonus, and Vigor is now activated. The Empire's doing a pretty good job defending against backfield. I mean, the War Wagons are doing it. And here's the thing. The Empire still has, I believe, 2 objectives. No, they lost that outside one. So just the one. As long as they don't get triple capped, the Empire's probably going to have plenty of time to value trade here. And big Boris Todbringer is going to be using Crush the Weak and Blood Roar here on the Chimera. And it looks like the Chimera is going to be going down for the count. Oh, Todbringer, the Elector Count of Middenland, getting it done, taking down the Manticore. As now we see the Imperials getting a bit of a second wind. The Wagons really doing nice sustained DPS. Boris Todbringer and his floppy-hatted militia down here are making some ground. Big Night Charge right there. And it is very, very nice. And this is where the Empire starts to come back. Boris Todbringer in the late game with his leadership debuffing. You know, the Norskins are tired, they're tattered, they're beaten up a little bit in the fighting. And now Toddy can come and maybe steamroll them. But Norska, if they can focus and maybe get a triple cap here, get those Berserkers there, that could be a win condition for Hitman Hippo. As he is bleeding 2 victory tickets out of his opponent right now, which is certainly quite good. But you can see the Empire on many fronts is starting to make its way back into the battle. Over here, we do see Reichsguard Knights as well as Empire Knights fighting a very desperate fight, and you can't really retreat from this. Because what's going to happen is the Norskan Frostwolves are going to frostbite you, and if you try and run, you're just going to take even more casualties. This is a situation where the Reichsguard Knights of Altdorf are going to need to fight to the bitter end. It's not going to be great for them, but trying to run, maybe the healthy one could make a run for it. We'll have to see. All right, so on the outside here, we have more Reichsguard Knights coming in to try and clear out the chaff units. The Empire Knights folding up the Berserkers with Boris Todbringer's help. And out here, Norska, though, threatening a triple cap. Really, really nice play here by Hitman Hippo. I like this. Focus the points while you can. You know, get those 3 victory tickets, bleed out the Empire, and just hold with durable, cost-effective infantry, really. Because it's still tough for the Empire to break off even Marauders and Marauder Bearmen. They're a very, very good unit. But the Death Star of Sigmar continues. He's going to need to get a second point here relatively soon. War Wagons and Grenade Launchers unleashing quite a bit of DPS into the Marauder Bearmen. The Grenade Launchers being especially good, but a huge hammer of Sigmars here. There's like 3 Empire Cavalry units, Free Company Militia, and Boris Todbringer. Most likely going to be able to find their way over to a point right here. Norska securing objective number 3. Berserkers heading back towards the middle right there. And in the meantime, guys, this objective being contested as well as a couple State Troopers make their way over. But there is some Marauder Bearmen and more Marauder Bearmen here, which just absolutely dunk on Spearmen in combat. Spearmen are not going to have a good time at all with that fight. And right now, guys, Norska does get the triple cap. This is becoming very sketchy for the Empire, as they are getting to that midpoint here in the game, right? Where you can see the players approaching 1,000 points, where you really start to feel the squeeze, you know? Grenade Launchers cleaning out some Marauder Bearmen, but there's a full health unit of Norse Controls over here, and some Marauder Champion Grey Opens, which are going to be very tough to get through. Greatswords can be used in this matchup as well. Honestly, Greatswords are pretty good against Berserkers as well as, they'll do okay against champs. Of course, Norska is a little bit favored in the infantry fight. But Hitman Hippo probably still has the advantage in this. Norska is just so tough to get off the points. Looks like there's going to be a Burning Head activated on the Berserkers there, which is going to be quite good. But the Empire is really bleeding it out. And you're about to see that the victory tickets are going to be switching over to the Norskins here in a second. Does the Empire have any objectives? They did manage to wrestle the middle, so the State Troopers and the Free Company and Toddy have gotten there. Norskin Trolls putting an absolute beating down right here, guys. An absolute beating on these Knights. And that's one of the best things about Trolls in general. They're a great counter against, like, Knight units. Although, if they get charged in open field, lightly armored Trolls can have a bad time. But against, like, Empire Knights, they're going to be totally fine. Demogorgon Knights called back in. That's a brilliant choice. The Demi Knights will be a great terror-routing piece in the late game. Toddy coming in, trying to hold down the middle, as Norska is actually going to get this objective back, which is very, very painful. Empire's up on value, 10.7 against about 1,000, but Norska does have healing on Throg as well as its Trolls. So there is some healing on the roster that needs to be acknowledged. These Marauders being pushed back here, these Berserkers being pushed back, and Toddbringer is going to continue trying to terror out the mob. But it is not getting easier, guys. Not getting easier. Grenades being hunted by Norskan Ice Wolves. That's going to be incredibly painful if they get caught. The Demogorgon Knights do clean up those Marauder Chariots right there. But yeah, these grenade launchers need to be salvaged if they can. Spearmen heading up this way. But I think my favorite part about the build from Hitman Hippo is the Marauder Champion Great Weapons. They have been such a menace for the Empire to get rid of this game. So Demogorgon Knights trying to head over. I mean, if they can get a pick on Throg, that's going to be pretty nice. Burning Head does go down on the Marauder Horseman. Does about 5% HP damage, so a bit of a swing and a miss there. Does happen to the best of us, but the Empire Death Star is still very much online. Demogorgon Knight's going to be terror routing these units off in conjunction with the leadership debuffs of Boris Toddbringer, one of the strongest elements of that. We do see Norska pulling a big value lead now as Spearmen arrive, and Hitman Hippo intercepts them very wisely with his champions. So these tiny state troopers going to be getting boinked by these big Scandinavian bros. And yeah, they're having a rough time of that frickin' trade. Over here on Objective 1, we see some Empire Knights lurking in the bushes. Over here, Objective 2 is contested. And this is a comeback opportunity for the Empire, guys. I think that Hitman Hippo made a bit of a mistake by resummoning a Manticore or a Chimera. It's not going to be terribly impactful in the objectives. And we do see Throg getting bullied and the Trolls. And look, with Throg going down, that's really massive, guys. And the middle objective is flipping. State Troopers and Empire Knights heading over to that far side objective, see if they can grab that. Over here, looks like Norska's got this one in their clutches with some Bearmen sitting on that point. And as it currently stands, Norska will win on just one objective. So that's really, really tough for the Empire, meaning that they're going to have to triple cap them. But good rally here in the fourth quarter. Throg could go down here, but you can't spend too much time dealing with him. He needs to focus a little bit more on the objectives. And this middle objective is owned by the Empire, even though you can't really see that. State Troopers and Empire Knights going to be heading over here to try and grab what they can. The Royal Altorf Griffites chasing down Throg. The Trolls are on the run as well. Toddy's going to need to make his way over here to this objective. And the Empire, sadly for them, is going to have to play every single objective right now. So probably your best bet would be some grenade launchers over here, but this is so rough. I think Hitman Hippo's got this game. He's got some Marauder Champions here and Bearmen here. There's absolutely zero chances the Empire is going to be able to get that one quick enough. They don't really just have a unit that can do that. They're not Slanesh, right? They don't have something that can just bully all those units in like 2 seconds. Spearmen and Spearmen are coming. Throg is on the way out, and the victory tickets are approaching 1,400 right here. In the middle, Toddbringer fighting those Marauder Champions, and the Empire Knights are able to secure this, chasing those guys back. So what you have to do now is probably wheel your Demogorgon Knights across the map and try and play that outside point. We got Free Company Militia and Empire Knights on the way in. That's going to be very tough, though, guys. 1,400 victory tickets are approaching in just a moment, and he still hasn't gotten this objective yet. I would imagine he's going to be getting it relatively soon, but that ain't going to be easy, my friends. It ain't going to be easy. So Throg is borked here. He's at -30 leadership, 2 Spearmen arriving, and the middle objective's even being contested as well. Granted, it looks like the Empire will be able to hold 1,400 points for the old Norskins. This objective still hasn't flipped yet, man. That's really, really painful. But he's got to get those demis over to the outside and hope he can terror out his opponent off that objective. But as it currently stands, he has about 75 seconds to do that. So 1 minute and 10 seconds left for the Empire to get a triple cap on his opponent. Spearmen are holding here. Free Company Militia trying their best, but they are being held at bay. Spearmen arriving, grenade launchers doing it. Could Driver pull off the miracle here? Is he going to be able to work some magic? I don't know, man. It's going to be so tough. Those Marauder Bearmen are just so difficult to get rid of here. I would imagine that Driver just calls out more and more Empire Cavalry. Spearmen are heading over there. Marauder Champs waiting in the bushes to intercept. And we got Spearmen here. Middle objective somewhat secure as well. And now he only has 40 seconds left. He does have some capture weight. Definitely should get those grenade launchers on the objective. That would be huge because Hippo made a bit of a mistake over chasing here. So now the capture weight is starting to flip. Couple spearmen coming. Could we be seeing the 1980? I guess this would be like the equivalent of like the Miracle on Ice with the probability of a victory here. Spearmen are there. Objective is flipping. Hitman Hippo is a little ways off. The spearmen are going to be arriving first. Toddy and the Demogryph Knights surging fourth as well. And if he does get this objective, he might be able to win the game. Okay, guys, it's actually flipping. It's actually flipping. Grenade launchers are getting on the point. One of them does get terror routed off, which is very, very painful. Toddy's going to be coming down. Demogryph Knights are coming. 7 seconds left. Oh, but those Marauders are going to get there in time. Several Marauder units. Oh my god, he's so freaking close to getting it. He's so close, but he just barely loses. Man, what a freaking game, dude. And you see, guys, that is why the Empire is the coolest faction, because all their games are like that. They're like close, epic comebacks and really, really scrappy. Nice try, nice try. I mean, that was a great match by both players. Great match by Hitman Hippo. I think Hippo's usage of the Marauder Champions won him the game. They were so difficult, and they won so many objectives. And yeah, the Empire build was amazing. It was good. It had most of what you want. It was good. Maybe the one weakness of the build is it was a little bit weak against the champions, but the Empire doesn't have too many great options for that. So that was a very sweaty game, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was quite good. All right, all right. So that might have been one of the last ones. I know he might have been able to win it if he had flipped that point. It was like literally another 5 seconds. All right, so yep, Mongo got his buy round point. We're in round 4. And let's see what is cooking. Yeah. Outstanding. Yeah. If the demis had not chased Throg, if they just had maybe used something like cheaper to chase him, and then you rotate to the other side of the demi sooner, like little things like that, you know. Little things like that can make all the difference. But honestly, Driver played an amazing game. Hitman Hippo has won a championship before. And Driver, you know, playing a weaker faction, almost beat an S-tier faction against a champion tier player. So that's still a very, very good performance. But Hippo played it really tight there at the end, man. He played it real tight. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. All right. So what do we got next, guys? What do we got cooking? It is going to be the round coming to a head here relatively soon. We have Parmenion and Manus playing, Freya and Mr. Hill, and Captain Muffin and Ponty playing here as well. Cool. So when those games wrap up, we will be all set. And Turtles are me. Oh, he's a greenskin player. All right, well, watch it. We have an undefeated greenskin player, I think, or at least 3-1. Oh, shit, he beat Daniken. Damn. The turtle Chad just beat Daniken. He beat B6 too. And, yeah, man, it's an impressive run. All right, we're going to go see what he's doing next round. The Empire is simply cooler for wearing clothes, I know. Empire campaigns are very fun. I was thinking about doing a Gelt one. That could be cool as well. So we got, yeah, the Sons of Sigmar would be a fun campaign. Chaos Dwarves I haven't really played much in terms of a long campaign. I'm kind of getting the itch to play some campaigns again, guys. It's been calling me in the night.
I am Prince
yeah, for Empire. Marcus Wolfhardt's campaign is great. I already did that one. We have one on the channel, though, from a long time ago. You know what? Let's do a Volkmar campaign next. That would be sick. Like, he starts in what, the desert? Yeah, let's do a Volkmar the Grim campaign. He's able to collect and seal the books of Nagash, increasing his military prowess and preventing them from being exploited by others. Hero recruit rank for Witch Hunters and Warrior Priests. Bonus for his infantry on Flagellants, Empire Knights. Oh, that's nice. And free company. Cooldown on Battle Prayers, and he also buffs those units out. Let's load in and look at what his campaign's like real quick. That sounds like a really fun one. Hey, Turin, the mod devs for Old Realms are accepting requests for their Dwarf and Greenskin update. The beta, it's on their Discord. I'll message them, Dreadnought. Thank you. Yeah, the Chaos Dwarf campaign I played a little bit of. It's very fun. I was going to play Empire tonight, yeah, but I've been having some issues with some of the nerves in my old arm, so just taking it easy tonight. Got to recover a little bit, you know, let things rest. Okay, so let's see what old Volkswagen is here. Do a Manfredo, Alfredo. I don't know. Vampire counts are like probably one of my least favorite factions. He makes Flagellants and free company very good. Yeah. Okay.
Of Sigmar upon you.
That is a very, very anemic tech tree. But I can seal the books of Nagash. Okay. So where the hell are they? Oh, they're all over the place. So we get Righteous Zeal, which I assume that's up here. Let's see what that does. Okay. Yeah, so it just makes unlock selector counts, various units, okay. And then, yeah, we start here. I mean, we could be friends with Tomb Kings, right? I would imagine.
The instrument of
Yeah, the tech tree
Sigmar's
is...
will.
The mechanics, I guess, are just all in the books of Nagash. Okay. So hero recruit rank for Witch Hunters. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. +5 for Witch Hunters and Warrior Priests. So your Witch Hunters and Warrior Priests would come in at rank 8. It's not bad. They're not like the best units, though. They're all right. Then casualty replenishment. Yeah, we got the book. Some of them are very far. So defeat the following Lord's army. We can't like teleport, right? We have to like actually just go catch these guys on the map. That seems like quite an arduous journey. Like how the hell do we get to this book of Nagash? Are you able to teleport or do I have to like waddle all the way up there? Are there effective ways I can get across the map to shut down the books of Nagash? I haven't played this campaign, so... Yeah, Friends of the Tomb Kings. This guy right here, Witch Hunter. Yeah. What does this tree have? He's got a bunch of stuff for the free company. Oh, Blessed Bullets. That's fun. War Eternal. Yeah. So he basically just makes free company militia really Chadley units. It's fun. Pretty sure you can teleport. Okay, that would make more sense to me. Yeah, you can march, waddle. No way, you have to waddle all the way across the world for that. Seriously. What do we get at the end? 8 books sealed. So you get ward save for all characters. 70% upkeep for state troopers. Wow. And then you get a cool ancillary too. You have to walk your ass all over the map. No, you don't. Really? I feel like that's not even worth it. I usually only play short campaigns. So that's Oracle of Tzeentch. Oh my god, that's all the way down there. And then the Drakenhof Nightclave. Okay. That would probably be what I would play. So we would just march south, purge like all the heretical stuff, and including the Lizardmen for fun. And then, or we could ally like tic-tac-toe or something, I guess. Yeah, they start okay. Let's start neutral. And then we go take down Tzeentch and the vampires. There wasn't a teleport mechanic for Volkmar when I did it. Oh, that seems like suffering, dude. Do you know how many turns it's going to take to get an army up here? Like, no, that's just not going to happen, dog. It's not going to happen. All right. The tourney's not over, no. It's not that great of a campaign, to be honest. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about something else from what I saw. Yeah, multiplayer campaign's definitely on the cards. Parmenion, let's see what you got here. And done. And then we got the round 5 and then semifinal after that. It's pretty fun, but short victory only requires a few books and a world tour doesn't appeal, yeah. Confederate and Elector count. We've done multiplayer campaigns in the past, live stream. You know, we've had like Pone and I have done a couple. I did some with some other stream folks before. We did some with what's it called, Battlesea and Okoye. Those are very fun. Those head-to-head campaigns. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do some PvP campaigns. It's a basic campaign, but it's pretty fun with free companies and flagellants. Yeah. Franz's campaign is goated. It's super fun. I haven't played Elspeth yet. Maybe Elspeth would be fun to try as well. A good greenskin campaign is always a great time too. Getting big old wogs flying all over the old world, you know. But if you like managing big white armies, I heard Changeling is just like disgustingly OP also. Wood Elves have some fun campaigns. The Mel Gibson campaign could be fun. I don't even know what the win con is for Mel Gibson. I don't remember. Round's done. Thank you. Thank you, Torsen. I appreciate you, boss. All right. Let's refresh this. We're going into the next round right now. Play Mazda Mundi, but migrate to like Bretonia. Mega multiplayer campaign 8 peaks. Do it, and vassalage is assured. And all right. Elspeth's campaign is great. Okay, love to hear it. Check. Any admin stuff. And we're advancing the Swiss. Round 5. Thank you guys for joining, man. Had some really good games tonight. Did you ever play Balthasar Gelt and Grand Cathay? I have not played that one. I have not. Okay, so, Daniken versus Driver is a fun one, but I think we're going to cast a different game. We are going to do Turtles Are Me. Turtles Are Me. He just took down Daniken's Cathay, which is not an easy thing to do. So this man is a Lord of the Wog. He is. And Vampire Coast campaign is still super outdated, right? Like, really outdated. Tamarcon is one of my favorite campaigns, but I already played one off stream. I don't know if I want to do another one. That was very fun, that campaign. You know, I'm thinking maybe just doing a Southern Realms campaign. like with modded Southern Realms, like Tilia or Estalia. Those campaigns are so freaking good, man. If you guys haven't seen them, they have great mechanics. Oh, Border Princes could be fun. How about Border Princes? You guys want to see a Border Princes campaign? I think that'd be sick. All right. Turtles Army, spectator slot. 1, 2, 3, boom. And we are in round 5. Goblins, round 5, go, go. All right, everybody, get your games in. Hey, Turin, big fan from Spice Wars, enjoying this content too. Hey, Carlos, appreciate that, man. Spice Wars was great, man. I thought about going back and doing a little stream of that sometime soon. We'll see, though. Yeah, Araby would be fun, too. Border Princes could be very fun. I think just kind of sticking to some modded campaigns for a while could be cool. Our Ogre campaign's good. I haven't played one, actually. The Vampire Border Prince would be cool. Oh, the Dark Prince guy, yeah. Yeah. Greenskins versus Vampire Coast. I don't know his favorite here. Pit of Treasures is going to be the maps. They're all going to be very close. I'm going to go get some water, guys. I'll BRB in like 2 minutes. Appreciate you guys. All right, guys, I'm back. What's up? Oh, dude, of course I mentioned Spice Wars and Daybok just appears out of nowhere. Dude, I know I want to use the Galloper guns, man. I want to do it. The modded campaigns are such a breath of fresh air, man. Like, honestly, this Marienburg campaign is straight up better than the Volkmar campaign. From what I saw, in Marienburg, you have you have to compete with like the great, business houses or merchant houses, and then you have like these cool campaign mechanics where you can like pay other factions to attack your enemies. I mean, it's so neat, man. It's so neat. I'm going to take notes on this one. I tried Anticity Spin to Win strat with Mass Fanatics, but it turned out I'm not Anticity. Greenskins versus Vampire Coast is a lot of archers usually. Usually you just have like 8 Error Boys, and they really do a lot of the lifting. Ooh, it's on Black Ark. Ooh, yeah, playing an old school map. That's fun. Play Greases for 25 hours straight, 19 Ogre Bulls, but yeah, just fat Greases stacks. Nice. We have to invest in a giant water tower for me? No, I'm good. Thank you, though. I appreciate that gesture. I appreciate it. I'm trying Elspeth campaign? Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we will. We will see. The bright side of Volkmar's campaign is it'd probably be very quick and easy. It would just be like, just these steamrollers of flagellants and free company with like steroids moving about. One of the head-to-head campaigns we did do, which was, who was it? Yeah, that was with Battlesea. It was me and Professor Pone versus Battlesea and Okoye. And I played Manfred. Battlesea played Volkmar. And then Pone played Ark in the Black as my ally. And I don't remember what Okoye played, but we ended up, I think, winning that one. Simply because Manfred was just really OP against Volkmar, like, right out of the gates. What's the plan at the end of the stream? I don't know. We'll do something. I was thinking some modded battles or something. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll try something cool. We will try something cool. Greenskins and Coast. Looks like Outer Region is ready. It is time. Him and his dreaded anime picture. Preparing to do battle versus Turtles Army. He used to have Scarbrand as his picture. Those were the Outer Region days. That was him at his peak with the Scarbrand picture. What can you do though, man? The caravans, the old world ads, Marienburg caravans. Yeah, it's really fun. I love that element of the Marienburg campaign. The caravans, it's great. It's so cool having like a mercantile empire, human faction. Well, you have it with Cathay, of course, but with the within the empire is what I'm saying. Yeah, so you guys said the old world mod for friggin' Mountain Blade is adding orcs now, huh? Yeah. They're adding orcs and they're adding dwarves. It's pretty freaking insane. You guys remember how good that mod was? A couple of those times we streamed it. It was amazing. It was amazing. All right. Here we go. Let's get this party started. Let's have some fun. And see what is up. So far, Turtles are me. 2 really strong victories this tournament. Yeah, Grom the Paunch, Orc Arrow Boys, Savage Orcs, Orc Boys. Very standard stuff. Now, Solastra is pretty obnoxious. She's able to summon her Knights Errant in the Archer backline and just do a lot of damage. It's very, very tough to deal with. We'll see what happens. But this is a big open map, man. It's a big open map. Good artillery map, it is. It is. He has the power of anime on his side. I know he does, it's true. Okay, guys, looking here at the armies of the Vampire Coast. They're fighting in their natural habitat, because if you take a look, we're on a black arc. You can see the dreaded ocean down there. Oh, there's like actually some sunken ships. That's kind of cool. Or just regular ships, couldn't tell. But yeah, it's going to be zombie-powered dickhand mobs, backed up by gunnery mobs. Pretty normal, just capture weight, pushing power. And Solastra is going to be there with Tide Call and Ghost of the Past. Again, very meta. Ghost of the Past is incredibly good against greenskins. And the rest of the Coast Army going to be deploying on the low ground, zombie-powered dickhand mobs. And then we do also have some Lamprey's Revenge, which are going to be trying to creep and scoot over this way. So they'll be coming up here and pressing over towards Objective Trace. A very tough unit to deal with. Greenskins can volume fire it with a bunch of arrow boys, you know, also using Boar Boy Biggins if they can catch them alone, unsupported, but usually they'll stay with their zombies. Bomber mobs are also quite excellent as well. For the Greenskins, Savage Orcs and Boar Boys, just absolute trash house units. We don't see any Black Orcs, nothing really good. Just low tier units to try and swarm that. And Orc Boys, Grom the Paunch is really nice in this matchup. He's incredibly disruptive and he does have regeneration, so the big dog is able to regenerate and is hard to take down for it. We got a Shaman. He's going to be using Headbutt and Fist of Gork against ethereal units, and then a lot of archers as well. Casual Philosophy, that's like one of those ambiguous things you're never going to know. Am I saying it like that on purpose? Well, maybe. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. You know, we'll see. We will see. So a couple strategies on this map. You can do a big push down the middle and ignore the low ground objective, or you can partition your forces, fight from here and then fight 2 fronts. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about it. It looks like our greenskin player is actually going to be opting to go just a full frontal push. Homie's just going to be heading up and going for the fighting on Objective 1 and Objective Dose as well. So there he goes. Who let the dogs out? Here he comes. All right. So Grom the Paunch is cruising for a bruising. Yeah, he's got his little gremlin. I love Grom the Paunch's model. It's so good. He's got that little like gremlin on his banner that just like he sits on. Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah, Savage Orcs are not bad in this matchup. They're really good at killing zombies. Like zombies are like the ideal target for them. Squishy, low armor, low melee defense. Savage Orcs with their frenzy and their high damage, 40 melee attack, 39 weapon strength, really live their best life there. A couple Orc Boys going to be heading to the low ground objective. They'll probably lose it to some of the bomber mobs and or a little bit of swarming down there. Yeah, should have brought the biggin. I don't know about the biggin. I don't know. Here comes not Wurzag, but the Savage Orcs. I have also been crumped by Wurzag in campaign. If you guys want to see one of the funniest campaigns in Total War, look up my my Belagar campaign. I literally just super arrogant, thought I could just move straight to 8 peaks, and I got army wiped by frickin' Wurzag and had to like restart from scratch. It made the campaign really fun because then we were an absolute rat for a long time though. But those were some good times. If you guys want to see a meme campaign, go check that out. All right, so Grom and company going to be heading over here, and down here this objective is taken by the Vampire Coast, and this many zombie dickhand mobs will probably be able to take on 2 Orc Boys. It's a grindy one, but they should be able to get it done. So Grom the Paunch, with Fist of Gork, he could take down Solastra. She's very squishy. He's an anti-infantry character, so that is something you need to kind of take into account there. And now the Orcs are going to be advancing up. They're world-renowned archers, the Savage Orc Arrow Boys, so they're going to be popping up. And they're going to be putting some sweet, sweet hurt down here on these vampires. But Outer Region's going to be trying to bait them back as far as possible. Vanguard point here, by the way. Scurvy dogs, Morngulls, a couple other things could be called out. We'll see what it is. But the zombies are going to be fleeing off the point, trying to force the archers as far forward as possible. Meanwhile, down here, we do have a contested point. And it looks like the Orc boys are going to be ignoring that point for now and maybe thinking about heading over this way. We'll see. So on the backside, Outer Region does call in some dudes. Why can I not go over here? What the hell's up with this camera right now? Oh, is that like... The camera, like, it won't let me go all the way over there. What the hell is this? You guys seeing this shit? Where the hell's my minimap, by the way? Did I click some button and get rid of the minimap? Okay. I feel like I'm on crazy pills right now. Why can I not go all the way back to the spawn? Is the legendary... Like, I can't take my camera back there. What the hell is this? Are you guys seeing this? I'm not crazy, right? Well, anyways, the battle is on. Solostra is going to be dropping her cav here, so the Damned Knights aren't called out, and that is the meta answer against the Error Boys. So they are going to be swarming on these guys, charging into the Savage Orc Warrior Boys, cutting them down, and a couple melee Savage Orcs are going to be moving in. We do also see some of the bats on their way in, so it is going to be double Fellbat, Deck Dropper. Battle Realism is turned on. Oh, yeah, shit, okay. So whoever hosted the lobby has Battle Realism on. That's so funny, okay. Yeah, that must be what it is. But the Damned Knights aren't causing a lot of disruption, and the Bomber Bats up top, the Deck Droppers, are getting some great value in. Now, they're very weak to archers. If the Greenskins can get their archers back online, they can melt these guys. But essentially what you're seeing is that the Error Boys are being compromised by the Knights of the Past, by the Damned Knights Errant, and then the Bomber Bats are taking advantage of that, and they are getting some good melting right there. Up here on this side, the Savage Orc Boar Boys getting ready to charge the Lampreys, but the Savage Orcs, the regular ones, moving up, while a couple of their Error Boys have formed ranks. We do see the Greenskins. Turtles has got 2 archers online here, putting a little bit of hurt down on the handgunners back here, while the Orc Shaman is also very low as well. Very brutal, though. The Ghosts of the Past have done their job. They're going to be disappearing in about 22 seconds, but overall they've done really, really good. And up in the sky, the Deck Droppers are going to continue dropping stinking hot payloads here on the face of these guys. Maybe since I opened campaign? No, I think one of the players probably has it on as a setting. Would be my guess. We'll take a look before we start our next game. All right. Error Boys and Ruggled's Armored Orcs melting down into these bad boys. You can see the Scurvy Dogs are eating it pretty freaking good. And Pump Wagon's now called in. Now, Turtles Army is the premier Pump Wagon player. He's very good with them. And they're going to be pumping the jam on these zombies. Some of them getting shot down before they advance in. But there they go. And the Gunnery mobs do start to get melted. But the Bomber mobs respond. Melts a lot of the Error Boys there. Greenskins keeping that pressure on. And even though they did lose their archer position, now that the Knights of the Past are gone, the Ghost Knights, Grom the Paunch is going to be feasting pretty well and pushing very, very hard. The Wog is going down to the valley, boys. Orc Boys and Savage Orcs coming in. Pump Wagons. It looks like the Greenskins are going to make a play for this objective. Not going to be easy, though, considering that there are Morngulls here. Morngulls are a very good kind of anti-infantry unit and also have good mass, so they can stop things like Pump Wagons. That was your car's nickname in college, the Pump Wagon. I love it. I thought you were going to say that was your nickname. You were called the Pump Wagon, which would be even better. All right, Savage Orcs trying, and now the Deck Dropper Bombers are eating some arrows from the Ruggled's Armored Orcs. Their 70 armor will mitigate much of the damage coming in from the Deck Droppers here. And you can see one of the Deck Dropper units is going to be crumbling and paying the troll toll there a little bit. So the DACA does continue, guys, while the Orc Boys charging where they can against the Gunnery mobs. Savage Orcs slowly cutting through the halberds here, and now it looks like the Orcs are getting a little bit of momentum in this fight, starting to pressure this objective. You have to remember, Outer Region has a metric ton of his units down here, right? That's going to be 300, 600, give or take. So yeah, probably like 2,000 gold worth of units, whereas the Orcs have a little bit less down there, and are putting more of their efforts up on this high ground objective right here. So the Ruggled's Armored Orcs, one of the big MVPs for the Orcs here, are blasting away, and they've almost gotten one of the Dick Droppers down. You can see they're about to get taken down. Ruggled's Armored Orcs, honestly one of the better units in the roster. It's so weird. You look at them and you're like, oh, they're just like a basic crossbow unit, but they actually are just so good on that Orc roster and always pay for themselves. It's such a strange thing. Savage Orcs and Savage Orcs fighting everywhere they can, and now come the Lamprey's Revenge once again. Those bad boys going to be moving in for a glorious, glorious combat. As far as reinforcements go, Orcs going to be calling in Savage Orc Boar Boys. A good choice. You're going to need them to bully the crabs and some of the other high mass units. And it looks like the Orcs are going to be taking a fight down here, guys. So they do move in. The Orc Boys are there, and the Savage Orcs as well. Here they go. The Wog is on. But I think the Orcs probably lose this low ground fight because of the Morngulls and just the layering of halberds and guns. But maybe, with the Wog active, it could be a bit of a different situation. Close game, though. The value obviously isn't, I don't think, accurately tracking the current game experience. The Greenskins still have some decent momentum here, but I guess the Lamprey's Revenge are going to be very tough to break with Mournguls. It looks like a Tide Call activated, splashing these orcs with some tidal magic, which is very cool. And here comes the big wacky inflatable arm guys. If you guys have ever seen a car dealership, how they have those like big inflatable arm guys right here, that's these guys right here. And they will wreck the Savage Orcs. Grom the Paunch trying to help out, and Boar Boy's on their way in, and they have good AP, can definitely fight against Lampreys. Ruglad's Armored Orcs carrying pretty hard here, about 1,000 value on them, melting a Bomber Mob, and most likely will turn to the Mournguls here. Grom the Paunch is insanely good in these fights too. He's giving ITP to all the greenskin units nearby, and leadership and melee defense. And he has language out of the boys, or Degradons is here, yes. So this is another buff for the boys here. But even still, Solastra, Mournguls, and Crabs able to roll up that position. And the Greenskins are now in a desperate situation where they need to win on at least one of these sides. We got Baconators coming in, but the Boar Boy Biggins are going to be getting on Mournguls here. Not a bad engagement for these Wild Hogs. So there they go, screaming on in their Sweet Pig. They do get on top of the Mournguls. Mournguls will obviously get folded in sustained combat, but they do have zombie support, so they might be able to still win that particular fight. Do the Greenskins have any steam up at the high ground? They're down by about 2,000 value, but realistically, maybe about 1,500 if all things are being considered. Grom the Paunch being a menace as usual, incredibly tough to kill. And remember, a lot of the value that the Vampire Coast does have is shooting at Grom the Paunch here. So Homie is regenerating, and that value is kind of a bit of a dead weight situation there. But now we get the big dogs coming in. It's going to be the Depth Guard. So the Depth Guard do rise. Tide Call is activated here as well. Going to be hitting into the Zombie Pirate Gunnery mobs. There we go. It kind of looks like the Greenskins are in a little bit of struggle city right now. Looking over on Objective Trace, the Mournguls did end up getting rolled over by the Boar Boys with the WOG active. The Boar Boys, the basic Orc Boys, not doing badly, but does look like they're getting gassed out a little bit down here on this side. Meanwhile, the Ruglad's Armored Orcs, how are they doing? Shooting into the Halberds, getting great damage. Grom the Paunch trying to do what he can, but I don't know if he can carry against all this. Some Dick Dropper Bombers are on their way in. Here they go. They're going to be dropping some unholy hand grenades on the orcs here. These orcs do have 70 armor, but even still, it will do some good damage. And is Grom the Paunch going to go for a kill on Solastra? Right now, Outer Region is sitting at about 1,000 points, so he's going to be able to win on one objective pretty comfortably here soon. And the orcs' kind of incursion here on this low ground point is slowly failing. Just hordes and hordes of zombies on their way over. We got gunnery mobs, we got scurvy dogs. All hail the mighty indeed. Pump wagons coming in, a good infantry clearing piece with savage orcs, but it's just a tall order, man. Because right now, the Greenskins are going to have to triple cap, man. That's going to be so hard. Solastra is also ethereal. She's a ghost unit. She has 55% phys res. So Grom's damage is basically cut in half against her. It can get there eventually, but man, it is a long, long time before you can get that. On the backside, Savage Orcs are there, and we do see more Snotling Pump Wagons on their way in. Let's get some cool cinematic shots of those guys. Granted, they're probably going to be charging into Halberds, which is going to be rough. The Boar Boys evading that fight, and they're going to be engaging Scurvy Dogs. Scurvy Dogs will get hammered by them pretty bad. Charge bonus of 50, big mass. Pump Wagons get a nice charge there, actually crumble down one of the zombies, and they don't want to sit in the Halberds, though. They're going to need to move away. They are going to need to move away. Great value from those Boar Boys, though. Just folding up a Hound unit. That is really, really good. Okay. Relegate's Armored Orcs being afflicted by the Tide Call right there. While Grom the Paunch just kind of watching, realizing I think that things are pretty much over. Outer Region has got a big value lead, and that's going to be a chap out from our Greenskin player. Good game. I think, honestly, an artillery build from the Orcs could have worked on that map. It just extending into the Vampire Coast territory and also losing the low ground fight. I think the Orcs should have just gone all in on the top if they're going to do that, rather than sending anything to that low ground point. But overall, fun game. Cool seeing Grom. Ruglads were the biggest carry piece, but that strategy of using Solastra to summon the Knights, hammering down the archer units, and then following up with the Bomber Bats was a really, really clean set of plays there from Outer Region. I like that one quite a bit. All right, GG, well played, guys. Fun game there. And again, if you guys are enjoying the stream, now's a good time to drop a like. It does help out quite a bit. And we'll keep the good times going. We will keep them going and see what ends up here in the grand finals. Okay. So Clipsy needs to get his buy round point. Let me do this real quick. Clipsy, let's give him his buy rounds. All right, all right. Need a Goblobber? Yeah, I mean, Goblobber's could have done it. He could have done a big artillery push. It would have been hard to defend with Solastra, but there are some options. There are some options. Okay, so Daniken winning his last round game against the Empire. Clipsy should have how many wins? Let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, he's already got his one. Okay, so we're all good there. And Darren needs a buy round point here, I believe. Darren. 2. Yeah, so Darren needs a buyer on point. Okay, guys, just a little bit of adminning stuff here, and then we will be back to chilling in a second. Dude, I really want to start a tabletop channel. It's been something that I've wanted to do for so freaking long. It's just, yeah, I just don't have somebody near me who can commit to doing it consistently, you know? That's the hardest part. One of my closest friends actually lives like 20 minutes away, but he's very busy. He's such a cool person, man. His name Andrew, my friend Andrew. You guys would love him, man, but he's just very busy. He's about to have his second kid. He works a full-time job. It'd be tough. Yeah, I saw the new Trench Crusade box. Him and I we play Trench Crusade every Tuesday night, and we go hard in the paint. Yeah, it would be so fun. Maybe someday we will. Maybe someday. You know, we could have Anna doing all the art and like painting up the terrain and making cool settings, and then Andrew and I would play the games. It would just it would be powerful. Be powerful. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we will. I don't know. I'll talk to Andrew, see what's up. Hey, yeah, then glad you're enjoying the games, man. We're about to go semifinals, grand finals here. So let's do this. You recruited your son to play with recently, but we're not entertaining enough for a channel. You never know. You never know, man, until you try. Like I mean, I hear a lot of people say that, you know, like, oh, you know, I don't like if you want to try a YouTube channel or something or Twitch or whatever, just give it a try. If you got the passion for it, you never know. You never know. Played your first game of Tabletop the other week on Tabletop Simulator. It was fun. You played Emperor's Children with Fulgrim. Oh, that's cool. Tabletop Simulator is a bit of a different beast. Myself, I'm not a huge fan of it because I like to have the toys on the table. It's like the inner child, but I still think it's a great system. I'm just saying my personal preference. Okay. He says, Outer Region saying, did Vampire Coast lose restock? No, their gunnery whites should have it, right? Okay, Battle Realism is not on my game mode. No, they have it. It's called More Powder, right? Yeah, I think Outer Region was just reading it wrong. Okay. Let me check here. It's called More Powder. Base Gunnery White Ability. All right. Drop the Fimbulwinter. Oh, dude, that was probably my favorite part about playing that freaking game. It was so good, man. It was so good. Okay, so are we ready for the semifinals? Lydon and Useful Toaster battling. A couple other homies. Our top 4 should be coming into fruition here. I think Danikin's going to be making it on Grand Cathay, which is always a treat, seeing the Cathay Chad get it done. So here he is. And let's go to the desktop capture here. So Outer Region is undefeated on Vampire Coast. The Greenskin player is going to make it. He will qualify, and it looks like the other spots are being fought over right now. Did Danikin only win 3 games? Oh, shit. He might have only won 3 games. Who did he lose to? He lost to Turtles, and he lost to Lydon. Okay, so it's not going to be Danikin tonight, even though 3-2 is still great. Yeah, for all of you homies who feel bad about going 3-2, just know that like champion level players do that all the time. It's totally normal. Totally normal here. B6 maybe going to be qualifying as well. We got to wait for these games to finish. Useful Toaster and Lydon, and these homies down here. So still a handful of games to go. Yes, yes. Yeah, Angry Tortoise it is. Playing Tabletop Simulator is definitely a good idea before getting into the game. Yeah, because you can see if you actually like it and you enjoy the experience. I did see the big walking fortresses. I honestly think those would be pretty fun kit bash potential, like using it as a big terrain piece in 40k, even like a ruined church building or something. I don't know. You played your first Old World game this weekend. It's fun to learn and all the goofy flavor rules. Yeah, it is fun. Old World is very fun until you get hyper competitive, and then I think it loses a lot of its flair because of how terribly balanced it is. But yeah, if you're playing casually, like beer and pretzels with your friends, Old World is a very fun game. Yeah. Dale Bear says, I've only played one multiplayer game, and it was against Anticity. Oh my god. He almost killed his lord. Hey, there you go. Yeah, that's a rough first game, man. That's a very rough first game. Okay. Nothing going on here. These guys are almost good. And yeah, we'll do some fun modded battles at the end. Or maybe we can go explore some modded campaigns too. Are you playing anything today after the tourney? We might. We'll see how long this one goes. Yeah, we'll play it by ear. We will play it by ear. But we do a little something. Maybe like a big team game or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, Vampire Coast has been doing well lately in the meta. They have been. I've seen them going just 4-1, 5-0 quite a bit. Oh, you got a good local game store, Angry Tortoise. Yeah, it's big, man. Having a local game scene is so nice. That's one thing we kind of lack where I live. I don't really have a local game store that's within like 30 minutes. I have to go like maybe 45 to an hour to get to one. And Games Workshop stores are honestly some of the worst places to play. They're so awful. Oh, God. Like their hours, like they open at like 10:30 or 10, and then they close at noon, and they kick everybody out. So like you get a game started at like 10:30, then they kick you out at noon. You have to wait for the guy to come back from lunch. And then they reopen, and yeah, they then close at like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 or whatever. Depends on where they are, 6. It's like, ugh. And like my local Games Workshop store, that the guy like is so uptight about the company policy. When I brought a tape measure in to that store that had a different brand name on it, I wasn't allowed to use it, the tape measure. I was like, dude, are you serious? He's like, well, if it's a tape measure with no brand name on it, I can allow you to use it on the store. But if it has a brand name on the tape measure, then you cannot use it in our store. I was like, oh my freaking God, dude. That is like the most archaic like policy shit ever. It is just so troll. Are Tomb Kings in the tournament? There is a couple Tomb Kings players. Yeah. Games Workshop stores aren't for playing anymore. They're storefronts only now. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. That was like, I remember that was like a very left me feeling quite salty about it. You got me playing Marienburg. Can't wait for the next video. It's going to go up tomorrow, Gutter Pig. Yeah, I'm going to post campaign episodes every single day. I know. It's what drives folks away from the hobby. I know. Like, I understand Games Workshop being like, okay, you can't bring other companies' miniatures into our store. I get that. But like a tape measure, dude? Like a tape measure, dog. Come on. What else was it? Yeah, it was a tape measure, and then there was something else. There was something else that was really ridiculous about it. Should have stole the tape measure, I know. No, I mean, the Games Workshop stores can get away with that because, you know, Warhammer's so popular. They can get away with that kind of behavior. Yeah, there was something else that I remember. Was it branded dice? I think there was something about like the dice having a brand on them and not being generic dice. I could have sworn there was something like that. Yeah, Matthew, you called it. There was something weird. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. A ruler, maybe? Yeah, like, I don't know. Okay, we're waiting on Mongo and Ponty to finish, and when they're done, we will be good. Mongo, this is your time to shine, dog. Let me know when done. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a chill bar tabletop place would be awesome. Yeah, I would love to open a place like that someday. That's my power fantasy, man. When I'm in my 50s, I want to open a local game store and just just hang out and host events and help people get into the hobby and nerdiness and just do all that, man. Yeah. You're bringing your loaded tape measure to your local tourney? Oh, my God. That's pretty villainous, dude. That's pretty villainous. Yeah. Yeah, the Games Workshop stores are definitely a little bit haggard. But, I mean, look, they're nice there. They're nice, but, yeah, those kind of things are ridiculous. You can smell unlicensed cologne. Are you wearing non-Games Workshop cologne? I feel like that would be like a Meat Canyon video. Like you go into a Games Workshop store and he can like smell the deodorant and know it's not Games Workshop. Oh, that would be really funny, actually. Like one of his really disturbing videos.
If you're not wearing natural
Yeah.
odor to lure females, then you can't
Yeah.
enter.
Yeah, Anna knows. She's seen the guy too. He could be very nice in his defense, but he's just really strict about store policy. Yeah. You've seen him play war games, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Dale. Yeah, that I didn't go through that, but it is a tough thing about Games Workshop games. Like just having your models become obsolete. Yeah, it does happen. Not allowed in if you've showered in the past 5 days. Oh, dude, you guys are getting me all into the... Okay, we're all good. So, yeah, the stinkiest event I've ever been to was Magic the Gathering. I used to be like a modern player, so in like 2008 through 2012, I used to grind like modern tournaments. And dude, some of those events are so incredibly stinky. I thought Warhammer would be stinkier, but it's not. Magic players are stinkier than Warhammer players, in my opinion. Okay, looks like we got a pretty clear-cut top 4. Very, very easy. And here we go. All right, so we're going to be advancing to the top 4. Thank you for playing, guys. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm from the UK, and GW shops are at least local for me, are usually really chill about stuff like that. That's nice, John DeBeer. Yeah, sounds like it all depends on the store manager. Like, I have been to another Games Workshop store, like further away from where I live, and that guy was literally allowing 3D printed models in his store. He was letting people use proxy models and 3D printed models, and this was an official GW store. And then, you know, you go to this other store. So it just depends on who runs the store, really. Yeah. Okay, so we have Hliden versus Manoft. Let me announce the top 4. Goblins, top 4 time. Thank you, everybody else, for playing. And it's going to be Hliden versus Manoft. Is it Manoft? It's Manoft, okay. And then we have Turtles Army, a rematch versus Outer Region. So we're just going to let them play that one, and we'll cast the other side. We'll do Hliden's game. See what he's got going there. Hey, Pydrasa. It's not much, but I've been watching you for years, so I have this. Seriously, thank you so much. Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it. Old YouTube's been pretty slow lately, so the support really makes a big difference. Thank you so much. I seriously appreciate that. All right. So let's go find Hliden and Manoft, yeah? Hliden. Hey. Lobby code. Lobby code, please. These people are running stores need to touch them. I know. I wonder if, like, okay, here's the question, guys. Do you think that games, you know how like police departments will send undercover officers into liquor stores to try and see if they'll sell to somebody without ID, or like if the bar is like selling to an underage person? Do you think that Games Workshop sends agents into their own stores to see if the Games Workshop store is following store policy regarding, like, you know, bringing in external branded merchandise and things like that? Do you think that happens? Do you think the conspiracy goes this deep? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I feel like that might happen. You think they do? Before you finish, yes, says Gutterfig. Yeah, you think so? Yeah. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. GW 100% does. They send in like an agent with, like, you know, like some like miniature from another game company. Probably in the really big stores. Secret. Oh my God. I'm one of those shop people. I'm a GW spy. Yeah. Like Wizards of the Coast sending the Pinkertons. I know. Mystery shoppers are 100% per GW. Yeah, you think so? Yeah. Hello, fellow tabletop enthusiasts. Oh my God. No, not actual personnel, but I think they'll contact the Pinkertons. Oh man. GW's IT department is like 12 guys. No way they have enough people for that. I don't know. I was just thinking about it. Maybe they do. One sec, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. People do that everywhere. I worked as a mod for esports, and I disguised myself as a viewer all the time. Oh, Turo, you did, yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it happening. It's just funny to it. Like, it's just I like imagining a company that is like designed around making toys, like doing that. It's just like, and then there was like Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast sending like just like one of the most brutal Union Buster, the Pinkertons, to like collect a Magic card from some dude or something. Oh my God. Yeah, store auditors are usually third party. Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, the whole saga. I'm trying to remember the article. Yeah. Yeah. So in April, here's an article on it. This is just like an AI summary. So in April 2023, Wizards of the Coast hired Pinkerton private investigators to recover unreleased Magic the Gathering cards from a YouTube creator. The agents, acting on claims of stolen property, confronted the YouTuber at his home, demanding the return of the March of the Machine booster box. I mean, come on, dude. Like, it's a booster box of Magic cards. It's like, it's if it, like, whatever. They could have just, like, are these people just so blinded by, like, like PR, you know, like you could get such good PR out of this. Be like, oh, we sent it too early and I hope you enjoy it. Have fun, man. And everyone would have been like, wow, Wizards of the Coast is awesome. But instead they send like the Pinkertons, a notorious, you know, just to like go bully this guy in his house. I mean, how are people in charge of these companies so stupid when it comes to like something small like this? Like they made the mistake. They sent it to the dude, you know? Like, man. And you see this all the time with like game companies and things like that. It's like, dog, just let it slide. It's not the end of the world. It's not like it's like some government secret or something, you know? The guy didn't steal from them, right? Didn't they send it to him? Let's see. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. There's no such thing as bad. I mean, yeah, I guess they're just too big to fail, you know? Yeah, no deaths makes this a tame affair as far as the Pinkertons go. It costs more to hire the Pinkertons than to get the box back. I know. Like, dude, and how far ahead was it released? You know? Hey, Brian, these streams are such a light and tough times for others, I'm sure. Hey, man, thank you for the donation. Seriously, Brian. Thank you so much, brother. I hope it's a good place for you to chill, man. Yeah, did we want to read the rest of it? Hang on. Okay, let's keep reading this. Yeah. After Cannon posted videos of the unreleased cards, the Pinkertons' agents visited his home, demanding the product. Okay. Wizards of the Coast responded, confirming they hired them to do that, but later promising they would compensate him for the confiscated items. So he paid for the items. They sent the items to the guy, and then after the public backlash, they're then like, oh yeah, of course we'll give you a refund. They probably didn't say any of that out of the gates. The move caused a significant controversy, with many fans arguing that Wizards of the Coast went too far, using a firm known for aggressive historical union busting as a goon squad against the customer. A goon squad, dude. I love the term there, a goon squad. Oh, this is not the first time. Reports indicate Wizards of the Coast used the Pinkertons in 2017 to recover a stolen rare sheet of cards. Okay, if it's stolen from them, that's one thing. Like if somebody actually steals something from a corporation or like a business, right? But like when they made the blunder, right? I don't know. I'd have to see more details before I make a conclusion on this. Like, did he order it and they sent it to him, or did he steal it from somewhere? I don't know all the details, but regardless, it sounds shady. It sounds shady. Sounds like the Turin podcast is made, yeah. I'm down, dude. I was thinking about that. Thinking about it. The Goon Squad is a term I've forgotten about yet. Oh, Mongo, you locked down the 04. Let's go, baby. Nice stuff. Well played. Oh, this is a cool map. I changed up the maps today pretty heavily, by the way. I know players were getting sick of playing the same ones over and over, but I love the name. Anakin did nothing wrong, 420. Oh, my God. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's break it down. Let's have some fun and see what these armies look like. Isn't this a cool map? Look at this shit. We got objective 1, 2, and 3, and there's like these little like hills and cliffs and some cool terrain. The End podcast. Just the End podcast. Yeah, that's a great name. Oh man, I love that. The Wizards of the Coast sending over Judge Dredd for some stolen magic cards. Yeah. Just like Judge Dredd rolling up, he's like load explosive armor piercing ammo, and they just like shoot the guy's wall down to get the friggin' magic cards back. You know what one of the other most like degenerate things is that makes me laugh super hard is like Pokemon magic card culture. Not for like the people who enjoy it, but like you see those pictures of scalpers, like Pokemon card scalpers. They're all these like 38-year-old men just with powerful neck beards, just waiting outside of those like kiosks to like steal the cards from children. Those are just like the scourge of the earth, dude. That behavior. Oh my God. Like I remember like seeing like a screenshot of like some kid like rolling up to one of those kiosks with his dad and like some scalper was like standing there scowling at the kid and buying all the product before the child could get it. It's just so freaking awful, dude. Like just the dregs of humanity, these people, dude. You know, just like the absolute dregs. All right. Well, anyways, let's focus on some Warhammer, yeah? Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, spawning in on the north side of the map, it's going to be Mannoft and the Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings making the semifinals. So he's going to be there using Nero's Incantation, Jaff's Cursed Blade, and then also the Blessed Blade of Patras. So basically just going to be using damage resistance to mitigate shock charges from Kislev, and Cursed Blades to give anti-large to his own units. Alright guys, so it begins. It is going to be a battle line of skeletons, Nehekar warriors, and chaff units, with the heavy meat of the army locked into Setra the Imperishable, Chosen of the Gods, and then the Ushabti as well. Mr. Mike, thank you for the raid, man. I hope all of you Warcraft heroes are doing well. Shout out to the Warcraft 3 community. One of the best games of all time, and Mr. Mike, an absolute pillar of Warcraft 3, a real hero, running a great community scene there. So if you guys haven't checked out Mr. Mike, please do it. He's a really, really awesome guy. All right, so taking a look here, guys, we do have Setra and his legion, and he's going to be facing off against the forces of Kislev. Hlidin going to be opening up with horse archers and mass. So there's going to be 3 horse archers here. The rest of the battle line is going to be Kossars, and Kossars here as well. But the main core of the army is tied up in the 2 Frostworms and a Patriarch. So Kislev unleashing the dreaded Slavic ice dragons, and they're really good against Ushabti. Tomb Kings do have Setra. Setra is an anti-large fighter, but he's potentially going to get bullied by 2 dragons. We'll have to see. Tomb Guard Halberds going to be forming ranks. The Halberds with their pointy sticks going to be heading up to intercept the dragon, as we do have a bit of a fight on our hands. Setra the Imperishable, though, locked in combat here. He could, of course, use Incantation of Curse Blades. Hatsa Miska activated to try and break some of the skeletons here. But back objective taken by the Tomb Kings, it looks like. Where are they? I don't know this map, actually. Where the hell are the objectives? Over here. And Sepulchral Stalkers called in also. Snake Laser Beam's going to be unleashing some big volley fire into the Frostworm, doing some nice damage out of the gates and applying poison as well. And Setra the Imperishable, guys, going to be hunting down the Ice Witch of the Tempest. So there goes the Ice Witch running away. Trying to dive the Ushabti Great Bows is a good target. Shutting down these big bow units is going to be quite strong. But the longer they stay, the more dangerous it's going to be. Setra is a really good anti-large fighter, and the Sepulchral Stalkers are frickin' snakes with laser beams on their head. So these guys going to be unleashing, but there is a Snow Leopard summoned in by Kislev. They summoned the Leopard, and now the Snake Knights are going to be piling in to fight this beast. Taking a look at the battlefield here, guys, we do see objective number 3 taken by the Tomb Kings, being harassed by the archer line of Kislev a little bit, but their silver shields will mitigate 55% of those shots coming in. And the other objective is going to be taken by the Tomb Kings as well. So Manoft forming ranks here, plopping down his shielded infantry, and a lot of the fighting, I think, is going to be coming down to this pit fight back here. The Snow Leopard being very menacing, but Setra getting a lot of HP off that Ice Witch. And the Patriarch might be trapped here. We do see the Kislev character trapped, and a lot of the Spearmen are attacking. Setra the Imperishable wheels about face, and we could honestly see this Kislev Patriarch being surrounded and or killed in this fight if he can't weasel out here. By Our Blood is activated, so that's going to make him unbreakable for a short period of time, so there he goes. Elsewhere on Objective 3, the Kislevites, continue pushing, and they're going to be sending in their elite infantry. So we see the Zargard with Grey Opens heading towards that back objective. They're going to be trying to grab this, and honestly, the Tomb Kings are pretty weak on this point. They're going to need to send some Ushabti over there. And that's what they're doing right now. So the Ushabti are coming in, Winged Lancers, the Polish Cavalry, intercepting them a little bit, forming up ranks, and trying to keep them from getting to the Great Weapons. Meanwhile, the boss fight does continue, and Setra and company do manage to put a big amount of hurt down on these Kislev monsters. The Frostworm and the Ice Witch do get smashed up pretty good, but now they have the Patriarch, who does have the prayer ability, the Salak's Lullaby, and that is going to be pretty strong when you get that percentage-based healing. The dragons attacking into these infantry here, and even though the dragons are technically anti-large units, they're still really quite good against infantry in my experience. And they're going to be tail whipping these haggard skeletons over to another dimension. Tomb Kings creeping up with their Sepulchral Stalkers, so they are going to be forming ranks. And these guys are really cool because they have powerful range attacks, but they also have halberds and melee, so if somebody charges them to shut down their shooting, they can fight very well. And Setra not serving, man. Manoft is doing a great job with Setra. Laser beam snakes are now shooting into the big Ice Witch. Ice Witch is steady, but getting really close to dying, actually. Patriarch activates. Skeleton Horsemen coming into the flank to try and support this, while we do see Setra the Imperishable one continuing to chase her down. On the backside, Kislev is pressing pretty hard, but overall it looks like the Tomb Kings are able to hold here. They do get their Ushabti Great Bows online, and those guys are going to be unleashing a big salvo of fire right there. Very, very nice. And those Ushabti Great Bows, if you guys haven't seen this game before, these are basically giant Egyptian statues wielding stone bows, and they rip these huge arrows from downtown. And excellent at getting through armored and durable units. But Kislev still has a lot of units here. And the Zargard Grey Opens, the mighty Slavic warriors, they are going to be bashing through these skeletons. So obviously the Tomb King's infantry aren't going to be as elite Kislev infantry. And by Our Blood, they will be able to get through those Nehekar warriors. And Kislev actually able to get enough momentum over here to steal the home objective of the Tomb Kings. In the meantime, though, the Tomb Kings continuing their boss fight over here. And we do see a heavy cockfight going down for the Lords. The Ice Witch able to weasel away. Setzer the Imperishable, the Tomb King's Lord, now getting isolated by one of the Frostworms and surrounded by a bunch of Horse Archers here. The Sepulchral Stalkers trying to put some supporting fire in, but Setzer is at negative 51 leadership. Negative 15, so his leadership is going to be breaking now, and he's going to start crumbling down. This could be the turning point in the game where Kislev is potentially going to be able to run away with it. With Setzer dying, the undead army is going to be crumbling. For anybody who's, again, very new to this game, I know we have some new players joining here. When an army loses its lord, they take a leadership penalty. So for undead armies, what that means is they're going to be taking damage over time because undead units are immune to running away. But rather what happens is, oh, sorry, I clicked away there, they start to crumble, which means they take damage over time. It's very painful. Whereas human armies, when their leadership breaks, they just run. They turn and run towards the edge of the battlefield. But, yeah, the army lord for the Tomb Kings does get taken down. So now you can look, and you look at their leadership modifier, and there is a negative 16 leadership modifier from their lord having recently died. Incredibly brutal. That can lead to characters going down there. But again, even if your lord does die, you can resummon your lord. You can bring him back. Just like in Warcraft 3, you can resummon your lord. It just takes a little bit of time. So actually very similar to Warcraft 3 in that way. Regardless, the Tomb King's still fighting over the home objective. It looks like there is going to be some Harry Potter being used right here. Some sort of magic. Hawks and Miska. So Kislev is going to be summoning in the Hawks and using that AoE magic to punish some of the undead units in this blob right here. And it does look like Kislev is getting pushed back a little bit on this front. The Ice Witch living is incredibly painful. So the Kislevite Lord is still alive. Value trading wise, the undead are doing a little bit more damage to the Kislev army, but Kislev did manage to snipe the Lord. So we're going to see if it's enough. Manoft could still win this game. Even if you lose your Lord, it doesn't mean it's the end of the road. All right, so Screaming Skull Catapult, a great choice against Kislev. You don't want to leave home without it. And we do see some heavy hitters being called out. Oh, yeah. Necropolis Knights with Halberds are such a sick unit. They're basically Tomb Guard riding on these Serpent Snakes. They have anti-large, armor piercing, poison as well. A great choice. But he's got to watch out. Some Horse Archers going to be trying to shut down his Catapult back here. You can see Kislev trying to weasel by his defenses. Meanwhile, the Sepulchral Stalkers are going to be bro-charging in to shut down that Frostworm. We'll see if they can actually get there. And the Kislevites are still able to hold on to this back point here. So they overwhelm, calling in Things in the Woods. Things in the Woods are scary Slavic monsters that have anti-infantry, and when they hit you, they make it so you cannot be healed. They have an ability called Dark Tainted Blood, which is pretty rad. Kislev has objective number 3, and the Tomb Kings have objective number 2. And of course, they have their own home objective. So how this works is, it's the first player to reach 1,500 points, or to just give up, of course. And right now, we're looking at the point situation. The forces of Kislev do have a bit of a points lead against the Tomb Kings. And Tomb Kings have a value lead, but again, it's hard to say because, you know, they didn't fully finish off the Frostworms. A lot of the value that you see reflected in the gold damage value is tied up in these big monsters, which are still fighting on the battlefield, you know? So that is very, very tough indeed. Hawks of Miska going to be activated here. The Necropolis Knights with Halberds piling in to try and hold the ground and fight. That AoE damage spell from the Kislevites is just doing so much damage. Laser Beam Snakes getting a good side angle, shooting into the Frostworm. Could we see a comeback from the Tomb Kings? Maybe there will come a point when the Kislevites start to run out of steam a little bit. We're going to see. Necropolis Knights having a really bad time in that fight, could be retreating. And the Tomb Kings now have a pretty firm lock on this objective, keeping a couple units right here. So, yeah, we got Nehekar Warriors here and a couple of Spearmen. That will be hard to uproot. So I think really the rest of this battle is going to be taking place right here and between these two objectives right there. Catapult fire coming in from the Screaming Skull Catapult. It's going to be unleashing on these Kossars back here. Missing here and there, but doing some alright work. And the Laser Beam Snakes doing great work, but eating arrow fire as well. And it looks like the Haggard Frostworm's going to be surging forward. But these guys have anti-large halberds too. Unfortunately, they're really terrible on tabletop, but Necropolis Knights or Sepulchral Stalkers one of my favorite units in the game. They're so freaking cool looking. Yeah, and the Knights themselves with their halberds defeating these dog units, so these big scary forest monsters, are slowly being defeated by the Necropolis Knights. The Necropolis Knights have anti-large, which means they're designed to fight enemy big targets, whereas these guys are designed to fight infantry, so they're not going to be quite as good against like a big armored cav unit, right? Laser beams, able to fold back the Frostworm. And guys, the Tomb Kings are back on the menu, ladies and gentlemen. They're back on the menu. Somebody in chat asking if I've done StarCraft. I have not, but I was a pretty high-level StarCraft player back in Wings of Liberty, but not anymore. I have a lot of hand problems, you know, from years of gaming and also an autoimmune disease, so I have to be careful about how many games I play. But I love StarCraft, Wings of Liberty. Those were some of my favorite gaming memories, dude. Just playing Haggard, mouth-breathing Protoss blobs. It was great. All right, so Spears forming ranks here and here. We got the two Spearmen hanging, Nehekar Warriors trying to maintain capture weight. Hliden knows, the Kislev player knows he's starting to lose the battle here. The Tomb Kings do win that fight pretty decisively. So now for the Tomb Kings, they just need to hold the other two objectives long enough that they can win. So right now, the Tomb Kings are going to be getting 2 victory tickets per second. And as long as they can hold 2 victory tickets for the rest of the game, they will beat the Kislevites, despite Kislev having a bit of a points lead against them right there. All right. So on the backside, Skeleton Horsemen being sacrificed into the blob, and they're going to be killed very quickly. So you see how their leadership is -10 right now, okay? So what that means is they're going to be crumbling. They're going to be taking 14 to 28 extra damage per second. And if it gets really bad, they start to disintegrate, which means they just basically say, I'm too weak, Anakin, help me, and they fade into the abyss. So that's how that's going to work. Carrion being called out, Skeleton Spearmen as well. And it looks like the Tomb Kings are going to be doing a full court press here, trying to push the Kislevites here. Necropolis Knights should have actually gone the other way and looped around and maybe supported this back objective. It does look like the Tomb King's able to hold here. And look at this, laser beam snakes, guys, setting up shot. Very, very nice. And they are shooting into the big snake lady. So, yeah, the Ice Witch is getting blasted. Horse Archers charge again, and the Eyes of the Desert going to be forming up their halberds, trying to shank those guys back. 5 leadership right here. And, yeah, honestly, Tomb King's not looking bad, but they could still lose this objective. Their forces that they had here were kind of on the weaker end of the spectrum. And Kislev does have some cav, as well as a Patriarch, a hero character here, which is providing some capture weight. Kislev sending, or not Kislev, but the Tomb King sending in Skeleton Spearmen. Catapult still singing down here, and it does look like the Tomb Kings are actually going to be making a consolidated play to take this home objective. Necropolis Knights fighting it out versus the Frostworm, and the other Kislevite Frostworm is going to be taken down here, most likely, and or routed, although these undead are crumbling, so there's a chance they might crumble and dissipate here. Yeah, I played Protoss and Terran. Terran was my favorite flavor-wise, but when I actually wanted to climb, like, High Masters, kind of in that ballpark, I played Protoss. I was too much of a mouth breather to be a really good Terran player. Terran is just so difficult compared to Protoss. I don't know if it's still like that. I didn't play any of the other expansions, just Wings of Liberty, but yeah, that's what's up on the docket. All right, Kislevites holding on to this objective. They actually got it back. So they wrestled it with the Patriarch and all their mobility here. And the Tomb Kings are going to need to get a second objective back very quickly, or else they could 100% lose this game. Melee Shopti being called in, as well as Skeleton Horsemen, Spearmen, and we do see the Nehakar Warriors being defeated by the Kislevite Warriors. They were very tattered on the way in. And ooh, Ice Guard Glaives by Hliden, a cool choice. So the Ice Guard are elite Kislevite archer ladies. They have anti-large glaives as well, so they can fight pretty well against big targets. And yeah, their shooting is also quite effective as well. All right, so Kislevite Warriors, unbreakable. We do see the Skeleton Spearmen and Nehakar Warriors moving up. Big catapult shots from downtown, and I don't know, Kislev might be able to endure, and they do. The Tomb Kings player gives up, feeling that they're not going to have enough momentum to recapture points, which honestly is probably correct. But what a good game. It was really, really good. But Kislev is going to be claiming victory, and we're going to be seeing the Fantasy Slavic people reaching the grand finals of today's tournament. This game is pretty freaking cool. Is this modded tournament play? No, it's not. This is the core competitive multiplayer. And the only thing that is a mod are maps. So we're using community-made maps that are better than the base game ones, just like StarCraft is. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to be going and getting into the Grand Finals. Grand Finals, so let's host game as a spectator here. There we go. And is it going to be Kislev versus the Vampire Coast? Maybe it will. All right. That was a great back and forth. It was a good game. It was a good game. All right, so we got Hliden in the Grand Finals. There we go. So let's get the big dog in here, the pride of Poland. And Outer Region is going to be doing it. Okay. Cool, so Hliden is here, and we just got to wait to see who's going to be winning on the other side of the bracket. As we take a look at the tournament here, wrapping up, we have Turtles Army and Outer Regions. That's Greenskins versus Vampire Coast. So the winner is going to be playing Kislev in the Grand Final, so it should be good. Yeah, so I love StarCraft 2, though, man. Wings of Liberty was so fun. I love the campaign. The soundtrack was so good. You know, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, Protoss. What strategies did I like with Protoss? I liked Blinkstalkers a lot. Blinkstalkers were very fun. All sorts of cheeses you can do with Blinkstalkers and going into like Dark Templars. Yeah, but there's just the classic, you know, 2 base, 3 base into Immortals, Sentry, Colossus, you know, just big Doom Stars who are always fun as well. Very mouth breathing. But yeah, Dark Templars, Charge Zealots are always great too. I love Zealots with Charge. Good times. It's so sweaty though. StarCraft Micro is insane. This is more of like an old man RTS game. You know, you can be old and crusty and decrepit and still be like a top player in this game. You just have to have really, really good game knowledge and yeah, have an understanding of like the faction interactions. The micro is definitely a tertiary element here. Granted, if you want to be the best in the world in this game, you need to have like God tier micro and game knowledge, but you can still be a high level player. A Stellaris tourney. Stellaris is on the docket of games that I would like to play someday. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool, Craig. Yeah, man. Oh, what? Where do you do that? On Twitch? I can keep an eye out. Void Rays. Yeah, I used to like to do Void Ray cheeses. Cloaked Banshee cheese was fun too. You know. No, I never played World of Tanks. I think they've reached out to do some stuff, but here Twitch. Nice, man. Yeah, StarCraft. I'll tune into StarCraft stuff occasionally. If I see like a big event on or something, I'll watch it. Craig is a super dude. Yeah, sounds good, Craig. We'll check it out, big dog. Sounds like a fun time, man. Total War is pretty slow. Yeah, this game is definitely like an old man's game. If you have questions, let me drop a link to the Discord. Our Discord is like kind of the hub for competitive multiplayer. So if you're interested in that, you can get in there and talk to people about everything. The biggest problem with this game in terms of competitive multiplayer is how hard it is to get into it because of all the DLCs and like there's 25 or 24 playable factions and like each of them has DLCs, so it's very rough to get into it in that way. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, do it. Yeah, you can drop a link. Just send me a link directly, Craig. That would be best because our Discord has like protections against links being dropped. So shoot me a DM in Discord with it, and I'll check it out. Yeah, World of Tanks reaches out to everyone for advertising. They do. Yeah, World of Tanks and then Raid Shadow Legends is another one. They reached out to me a bunch, and I finally responded to them once. I'm like, I asked for like an obscene amount of money. It was like $50,000 or something for like one video. I can't remember what it was, and they never messaged me again. I'm waiting for Tastosis ASL commentary. Yeah, oh dude, Artosis and Tasteless were. I have watched so many of their casts. Those guys are great fun. They were great fun. And now you go into a freaking Artosis stream, and it's like the Twilight Zone, man. Like it makes you feel like you're you're on something, you know. Yeah. You were lurking in Mike's stream. You were lurking in the shadows. Yes. The shadows of the old world. Okay, let's do this. Great. So we're just waiting to see who's going to win on the other side, guys, and we should be all set. Yeah, and we have beginner tournaments as well. So if you guys are interested, we have a whole bunch of beginner tournaments. Always a good time. Always a good time. Dude, Artosis' streams are wild, man, because I had an interesting gateway to his stuff because I originally used to only watch him and Tasteless casting together. I would tune into their cast when they were in Korea back in the day. And then I went to go see one of Artosis' regular streams, and it was wild. I was like, what the hell? Like the Mario stuff. I mean, I was laughing. Some of it's very funny, but some of it's pretty over the top too. The Mario shit, as you guys know, like, and just seeing his like face, like trying to remain like stoic and serious, and then like in the face of all of that, and like the sounds he listens to while he's playing, it's insane. It's really insane, man. All right, grand finals is set. We have Kislev versus Vampire Coast. So I just need to have them let me know the map. Let me know map. So these are two big dogs, two very high-level players. Neither of these guys have won a championship, but they both come pretty close to gold. They're both players who have, been in the top 8 of the world, top 16 of the world. Very, very good stuff. All right. What do you think CA could do to make multiplayer, make the game and future games more multiplayer accessible? I have said this for a long time that if you own the core game of Total War Warhammer 3, they should give you all the factions for multiplayer for free. Literally, like something like 2% of the player base plays multiplayer in this game. It's incredibly small. So if you have, if you have 1,000 people playing, probably like 2 of them play multiplayer. So we have 25,000 people playing on average during a day. Like I think this game averages around 25,000. So you guys can do the math. 50 to 120 people, give or take, playing multiplayer at any given time, unless we have a big event or something. But if Creative Assembly just made all the factions free for multiplayer, not campaign, but for casual custom battles, I actually think it would improve their sales, because people would get a taste for the factions by custom battle, and they'd be like, oh shit, I want to go play this faction in campaign and see what it's like. Then they would go buy the campaign. I have pitched this idea on many occasions, and they're just like, oh, well, it's too complicated to introduce with the way that our DLC registration works, well, yada yada. But dude, it's a game-winning play, dog. It's a game-winning play. Seriously. Yeah. StarCraft has that. Wings of Liberty does it, right? You can play some of it for free, and yeah, I don't know. No, plus the sleeper, the watchers, yeah, the sleepers, yeah. No, I realized what that was, Code. So YouTube is pretty wild with its algorithm. So you guys probably remember some of those streams where we had like 10,000 people suddenly show up. So basically, YouTube was people who had zero interest in Total War, or who were just watching other videos for long periods of time. YouTube was like sending people to my channel who had like no interest in this. Those were real people. I mean, because those streams where there would be 5, 6, up to 10,000 people on the stream, I was getting a massive amount of dislikes on the stream, because again, it was people who were like, why the hell am I here? I just came from watching a freaking show, a cooking show, and YouTube is sending me here. So that's what was happening, dude. It was wild, yeah. And there, people would say as much. They'd be like, I don't know how I ended up here. Occasionally, people would like it and stay, but yeah, it was wild, man. It was wild. I don't know what was going on. YouTube's algorithm is so weird. It's so weird. But I believe they just made another big change to their YouTube algorithm, where they've cut down on that. YouTube stopped recommending streams as much. I've heard from a lot of people that's the case. Like people who are having similar situations. Yeah, I missed that. Oh yeah, no, it was happening, Bob. It was like big. It was big, All right. When Wings of Liberty came out, multiplayer was completely free and you had to pay for the campaign. Yeah, was that how it was? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Hunter. Yeah, it's a strange system. You never know. I fell asleep listening to a horror audiobook and woke up to a live stream of a priest giving a sermon. Yeah, exactly. That's like some uncanny shit, YouTube does that. They just throw me in the weirdest places when I wake up in the middle of the night. They've changed it. Apparently there was I've heard from some other people who do YouTube that there was a big algorithm change recently. One of the biggest complaints I've heard from fellow YouTube people is that YouTube has been much worse at giving out notifications for streams. So they've been much worse with stream promoting, and yeah, I've seen it myself as well. I've had a lot of people in Discord and YouTube comments saying stuff along like, oh, I didn't even know you're streaming, and usually I got notifications, and I've heard that from other people too. But no changes regarding videos. But with that, waking up to a furry VTuber experience, that'd be freaky. Yeah, that'd be freaky. Yeah. All right, Kislev Coast is a fun matchup. It's really, really cool. Celestial Lake's gonna be the map. Oh shit, I gotta switch it. Celestial Lake. Let's do this, and we are on the map. All right. Good times. And let's get it. Krusty says I never get notifications. Yeah. YouTube's weird like that. Twitch is much better about notifications. Much better. YouTube is you have to subscribe to the person, then you have to click a bell, and then you have to click a special type of bell. It's some weird shit, dude. It's there's layers of it, and then sometimes it just randomly decides some people get notifications and others don't. Yeah, Twitch is much better at that. It is for sure. Just got an AI summary about Wings of Liberty. Oh, yeah. Great game, man. Great game. The StarCraft tabletop game looks freaking great, by the way. Have you guys seen the minis? I don't know about the rules, but I thought it was just going to be some really crappy minis, but StarCraft tabletop. I've been actually, and apparently they're adding a bunch of sub-factions as well, so I've been kind of tempted to get into it. Let me check. Yeah, you can see all the pre-orders and stuff. Can we view all? There we go. One sec. Odd thing that I've noticed on YouTube is I get recommended 10 or 0 view. Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, so here's the new StarCraft minigame. Looks really good. I mean, look at wow, it's funny, it's in Polish currency. Like the Queen, that model looks freaking great. Look at this. Like that is a high-end model, dude. They did a really good job with these minis. It's very true to the game too. You got the medics, and then you got the Marines. They look really good, don't they? Like, look at these guys. I think I would play Terran in tabletop for sure. I'm really tempted to get into this game. If I can lure some of my friends into it, then I think it'll happen. Yeah, those minis look great though. And you got Raynor, and yeah, you got Jim Raynor here. Look how great this looks. That's a great model, dude. This is like awesome. He comes on a tactical base. He's got his little point defense drone. Yeah, PDT. Yeah, doesn't it look good? Archon Studios with the steel chair, dude. Yeah, look at the Nidus Swarm too, and then Kerrigan. Look at that. This mini looks freaking great. That Kerrigan mini is so awesome. I'd love to see my wife's take on painting that. Yeah, it looks so good. All right. The Stalker models they look just honestly amazing. Like great models. Sorry, I can't read Cyrillics, bud. You're gonna have to type in English there. I'd watch and play a StarCraft Total War mod. Yeah, Craig, that'd be fun, dude. You could do a StarCraft Total War, but I don't think that would ever happen just because of the nature of the companies and the crossover and whatnot. Yeah. Trick Professor Pone to move by buying him StarCraft models. I've tried to get Professor Pone to move to California. But, you know, he's yeah, all jokes aside, it's like, you know, California is just stupidly expensive to live in. I love California. It's my favorite state. You know, the community I live in, the people, it has its problems, but every state has its problems. And but man, oh man, California sucks when it comes to cost of living. That's one really fair criticism about the state. It's just so expensive. But again, you're hearing about that all across the country, right? Like what's expensive to somebody in California might not be expensive, you know, somewhere in the Midwest. But those, you know, the salaries, you know, fluctuate based on what state you're in, right? So everything's just kind of expensive now. But did you see the new GW minis? I did. I saw the cog for it. Yeah. Pollen is killing me right now. Where do you live, Legamus? In California, you're saying? Yeah. The dreaded West Coast of living. I know. I grew up in Northern California and now live in the Midwest. I couldn't imagine moving back. No, fair play. Yeah, fair play. And my wife and I have explored that. We've been looking. We just got a notice from our landlords that we're getting the boot. They're deciding to move a family member back into our rental property. So we have to find somewhere new to live in like 2 months. So we're just like, we're straight up looking at options. We're looking at other states. We're looking all over the places. Yeah, we're looking all over the place, not places. All right. So, but yeah, I really hated living in Los Angeles. I did not like that. I like the food and some of the different cultures are really cool, but we live in like a country town. It's very small. There's only 9,000 people here. It's beautiful here, but it's, you know, we're getting priced out, slowly but surely getting priced out. So we're going to figure it out. Texas will take you in. Yeah. I have a lot of family in Texas, actually. One side of my family are all like New York City Italian Americans, and the other side we're all from like Texas and Oklahoma and then Central Valley, California. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break it down. Here is the grand finals of the tournament. Taking a look here at the armies of Kislev, it is going to be a battle line of Kossars, so just rank and file Kossars with bows, backed up by armored Kossos. So the armored Kossars are really good at clearing out zombies, and they also have shields of their own to fight against the dickhands. Have some water here real quick. Sorry about that. All right. So, battle line of Kislevites with a Patriarch who's going to be giving the AoE healing buff if need be. We do see another Ice Switch on a Dragon, backed up with some Horse Archers. So the Dragon character, very disruptive, can fight against any big monsters, like the Crabs, for example, and of course does have Hoxa Miska, which is one of the better spells in the game. In the woods, we do also see another Kislevite monster. We have the Incarnate Elemental Abyss. This thing is a huge anti-infantry monster that also happens to have a Mortis Engine and a leadership debuff. So really good at clearing through mass hordes of units, but it's a huge target with low armor, so it getting shot by mass pistol fire can be very, very problematic. All right, guys. In the front, Celestra is here, getting afflicted by Death Frost, and we do see Lamprey's Revenge. So these are big crabs with zombies riding in the back, quite literally wielding shotguns, which is very, very fun to see. So they're going to be cruising up for a bruising, and we'll see what they get done here. The rest of the army is going to be zombies, and a bunch of dire wolves surging forward, and yeah, basically just a zombie onslaught is going to be cruising here. All right, the battle is on, and the Crabos are going to stabbo, and they're going to be moving into the gunnery, the gun boys in the front. So the armored Kossars stand at the ready, but they're going to get owned by the Crabs pretty bad in combat. Their axes aren't really super effective at piercing through the armored husks of these Crabs right here, and they are starting to take casualties as the fighting does erupt. Armored Kossars and regular Kossars fighting shoulder to shoulder. Kislev warriors going to be piling in the front line. So now Kislev has called in their second wave of reinforcements. It is going to be halberd. So the guys with the less armor on, those are halberd units, and they will be a hard counter against these Lamp Revenge and sustained melee. Tide Call activated from Solastra, and it does look like the Kislevite Lord is going for the kill on Solastra with a second Death Frost right here. And we could see the Vampire Coast Lord getting karate chops here. We're going to have to see how that all unfolds here in a quick second. And the backside guys, Damned Knights Errant are called out. Those Damned Knights Errant, they're going to be chasing the Horse Archers. So this Banshee lady, the Lord of the Vampire Coast Army, can summon a unit of undead Ghost Knights, which are really good for disrupting gun lines in the back. But she's on the brink of getting karate chopped here, guys. If the Lord of the Vampire Coast does go down, it's not going to be a huge blow because of how cheap and expendable she is as a character, but still not good. Negative leadership will be tough indeed. The Vampiric Army, the zombies, are holding back the tide of the living here, so they are able to form ranks and keep these bad boys at bay. So far, the living have not been able to break through the swaths of the dead. We do see some bats up in the sky. These are deck dropper bombers, and they are eating a lot of firepower from the armored Kossars and the regular Kossars here, which takes about half of their HP away. But the undead knights that were summoned, they wheel about face, and they do get into the backfield, and we are going to be seeing the armored Kossars here and the regular Kossars getting pancaked. The undead also making a play, man. Outer region really swarming the battlefield, sending in zombie pirate polearms here, pistol mobs, and a lot of units to try and swarm his opponent's back objective and steal that. Winged Lancers being called in, so the Polish cavalry do arrive. And they're going to get good shock damage, but in sustained combat, they're going to lose. These zombies are wielding halberds, so the longer the cav fight in combat, they'll have the advantage initially, but when the halberds get in sustained combat, the cav units are going to start getting ground down, and it's going to be a bad situation for them. I really like this, though, from Outer Region, going super wide with a 23 army, 23 units in his army, and really just doing a full court press here. So they're going hard in the frickin' paint. Back towards Objective 3, we see the big Incarnate Elemental Beast has emerged, and it is going to be pimp slapping some zombies over here. But unfortunately for it, Outer Region has brought, oh, Jude, he's got a bunch of deck droppers with handguns. So these deck dropper homies, they have hand cannons. So basically it's a bat carrying a zombie with a gun, and they're shooting into the Incarnate Elemental. There's no defenses. This thing is terrible against guns. When it gets shot at, it's having a really bad time. So it's at 3,000 HP, and it looks like Outer Region is going to start taking over the game with this. And we are going to be seeing the Incarnate Elemental Beast running into the woods, getting sent packing, while the Kislevites, the Watchmen of the Night, a very killy unit, are making some progress cutting through zombies, but it's a lot of undead to cut through. These mighty fantasy Slavs here gonna have some tricky times. In the backfield, Sloster's being hunted. It looks like the Vampire Coast Lord has been getting Benny Hill Yakety Sax chased around the map for a period of time. And the Dragon character finally going to be getting the kill. Incarnate Elemental coming back here. Oh, here he comes. He's cleaving through some of those undead hound units. But Sloster is crumbling, and she is down. So the undead have lost their lord, but aside from that, the undead army is massively out trading, and that lord only costs like 1,000 gold. It's a very cheap, expendable lord. In the meantime, the Kislevites have lost their back objective. The Winged Lancers and the Kossars getting just overwhelmed by the hordes of zombies. The Walking Dead, it is time, have gotten in and pushed back the living forces, so the Kossars have folded. And the Vampire Coast not only has a value lead over his opponent, but homie has all three objectives. He's got one here, and one here. And I think that is most likely going to be the end of the road. Now, the one thing I didn't love about the Kislev build is the Frostworm. The Frostworm's all right here, but I feel like if people go wide like this, it's just going to get shot to pieces and not be able to clear through the infantry quick enough, you know? That is tricky. Yeah, so as far as the other Vampire Coast Lords, I saw some people in chat asking about that. Like, what is the viability of those various lords? Now, in my experience, Aranessa is actually not terrible in some matchups, like against Bretonnia. She gives anti-large and does have a net ability, but typically, I would say the best lord, is probably Solastra, this ghostly lord you see, followed up by maybe Count Noctilus. Aranessa is somewhere in the middle, but she is playable. All right. So Horse Archer is coming in to try and retake the ground. The Vampire Coast has a firm grip on this back objective. I don't think that the Kislevites are going to have a good time here. They're calling in Things in the Woods. Things in the Woods are anti-infantry monsters they're going to be good at cutting through zombies, but the zombies that they're fighting are halberd zombies, which are really, really good anti-large fighters. Not good, but cost-effective, I should say. So the things in the woods are going to take a long time to retake this objective. Kislev getting a bit of a second win here. After having taken down the Undead Lord, you can see the leadership of the enemy army is permanently debuffed by -10 once the initial shock is worn off. And the Frostworm, the Ice Witch, sitting at 1800 value, has made some progress, and the Ice Witch will be able to get through these Crabbo-Stabos. So is there going to be an opportunity for a comeback there? We're going to have to see if the big Ice Witch is going to be able to get it done. Critical Binding right here, setting at 0 leadership, which means this Undead unit is on the brink of breaking here. Outer Region can comfortably win by just holding one objective. He has such a colossal value lead. And these Deck Dropper handgunners, man, these flying bat guns, these Man-Bear Pigs, putting in so much freaking work. And one big weakness, too, of Flitton's army was that Incarnate Elemental. That thing just got absolutely mowed down there and had a really, really bad time. So Celastra has been resummoned, which means she gets another Night Summon, which is so incredibly powerful here. And the Ice Witch is doing well at cutting through these crabs. That is what the Frostworm is designed to deal with. But the guns up in the sky are just mowing down this dragon. The dragon is at 3,200 HP, rapidly going to be forced back, and the zombies are still going to be holding on to that objective for a period of time here as the two undead units are moving back this way. 2,900 HP on the Ice Witch as the Air Force of the undead continue chasing. Over here, the undead also still holding on to the objective, and this is probably going to be the backbreaker right here, guys. We see the Depth Guard. These are one of the coolest units in the game. These are undead vampire berserkers. They're moving in. They're heavily armored. They have halberds as well, so they're going to cut through all these reinforcing units. And yeah, these Kislev Chaff Cav charging in, trying to intercept them, but these Kossars are not going to be long for this world. The vampires immediately start cutting through them. They get folded up really hard, and the objective, Kislev is just not going to be able to get it back on time. Looking at the points right now, we see Outer Region sitting at about 1,200 points. Really, really cooking quite well. Objective 2, Objective 1, and Objective 3 all belong to the undead. And we see the Ice Witch of Kislev getting Last Samurai to buy all of these flying bats. So she's getting mowed down pretty good. There you go, Sweet Prince. And yep, she got picked off, and down goes the dragon. Oh, look at it. It actually freezes when it dies. I've never seen that animation before. But yeah, that's going to be it. GG, well played. Victory for Outer Region, guys. Big victory. Can we move to Reno with Sice and I? Yeah. Oh, you know Sice? Yeah, Anna and I were talking about that the other day. We were talking about Casey and I don't know if I met you, but we were talking about Casey and Sice. Yeah, that's fun, man. But we were like, maybe we should check it out. All right, guys. GG, well played. Victory for the Vampire Coast. Celastra looking really good. Crabs did well, but the big MVP in this grand finale, guys, was the dreaded Deck Dropper Bats. Absolutely wrecking the Incarnate Elemental Beast, being held to 200 value. Homie paid 1,700 gold or whatever it is for this, and that was all she wrote. Man, oh man, that was a fun little battle. I'm going to cut the stream a little bit shorter tonight, guys. It's only going to be about 3 hours and 40 minutes here because I've been having a lot of nerve pain in my hands, and even just being at the keyboard and working the mouse has been rough. So just give me a couple days to recover, and we'll be back to our 5-6 hour streams. I just need to chill out a little bit. It's been flaring up on me pretty good. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, for all of you guys on YouTube, please do drop a like on the stream. It helps keep the old man going. Really, really would appreciate that. And for all of you homies on Twitch, consider following if you enjoyed the stream. And yeah, that's it, man. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you around. I'm going to go rest my old man hands right now. But we'll be back streaming pretty much nonstop. We'll be streaming throughout the week. Tomorrow there's going to be 2 videos going up. I have another episode of the Marienburg campaign. And then we have another episode. We have a PvP battle featuring the Grudgebringers versus... the Grudgebringer mod versus, what the hell is it called? The Albion, which is very fun as well. All right, guys. And thank you so much to the folks who donated. We had a couple of very generous donations earlier in the stream. So, yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah, Then Factor. Yeah, Casey rules, man. He's an awesome guy. He's your best bud. Yeah. I actually met him in Los Angeles. He came out and we hung out with him and his wife. It was great fun. All right, see you guys around. Take care of yourselves. Adios. Do widzenia. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Go spend some time with your loved ones. Pet your pets. Call someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Catch up. All the good stuff. All right, guys. See you around. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to go rest the paw. And all hail the mighty. Vampire Coast getting it done. Congrats to the big dog Outer Region.